FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics sat their starting five and Al Horford on the second night of a back-to-back in Orlando, and they were beaten by the Magic 96-76. Peyton Pritchard and Baylor Shireman each scored 15 points for the Green. They now have 2 games left in their regular season. They'll play back-to-back home games against Charlotte tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. Luka Doncic made his return to Dallas last night. He scored 45 points to lead the Lakers to a 112-97 win over the Mavericks.
Like I said, post-game interview, after that video, I was like, there's no way I'm playing this game, It was so many emotions, and, I just went out there and just played basketball.
Dallas gave Luka a tribute video when they introduced the starting lineups. Red Sox lost to Toronto for a third straight night, 2-1 in 11 innings. Bo Bichette's sacrifice fly was the difference. Sox managed a total of 4 hits for the night. Jays go for a 4-game sweep this afternoon at Fenway Park. Walker Buehler will start for the Red Sox. The Bruins entertain Chicago at TD Garden tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7. Here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Bruins have 3 games left tonight in Pittsburgh on Sunday, and then a home game against New Jersey on Tuesday evening. And the first round of the Masters begins at 7:40 at Augusta National. Scotty Scheffler looking for his 3rd championship in 4 years. He will tee off at 10:15. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
When has that been necessary to fact check?
and Hardy
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
on 98.5.
Hey there.
Sarge GPT booting up.
Let me hear you say, "Bo, Bo, Bo."
Crush me, mommy.
Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope.
I'm a goddamn drag!
Yeah, good luck, dude.
That's like a good tushy.
I love you, and I think you know that.
Excuse me?
Toucher and Hardy
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fun. Having some fun.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Tick, tack, go! Oh! Dang!
Hey.
Hold on! Can you just be kind?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios. You can watch us on YouTube live, 24 hours a day. All our shows are cataloged, unless they've been taken down for copyright infringement or for something that is offensive in some way.
Yeah, maybe we did something to offend our afternoon producer,
James!
Stuart, and maybe we take it down for that.
You don't just like us, just Nicholas.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you can do all that. Just subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub. I am telling Hardy I'm on very little sleep. I don't feel bad, but I'm on very little sleep. My son had a 7 o'clock game last night. Game time temperature at 1 point, 35 degrees. The fact that baseball is a spring sport that does not, for preps, like prep sport, high school sport, that it's a spring sport is ludicrous. It really should be. You should play summer ball, and then the fall should be the baseball season. I know fall belongs to football, so you can't do that.
Yeah.
But if you were smart in the Northeast, what you would do is you would have the summer league be the warm-up for the prep season, and then the prep season would kind of be the cherry on top of everything. Everyone would be in shape. Everyone would be in baseball shape. It would be fantastic.
Yeah, but then you run into those games in late October where the weather's like this.
Nah, it's not 35 degrees. It's not 35 degrees. Very, very rarely. I know that it will snow on Halloween, and there was that Remember that Patriots game where there was all that snow? I think they played like Miami. Patriots killed them, and there was like a big snowstorm. It might have been Halloween, but it was like right around there. And then the next day it was like 60.
Yeah.
But if you don't like the weather, move.
If you don't like the weather in New England, wait a minute. Oh, it's such a classic.
You want to hear a Vegas joke?
Yeah.
I was in Vegas and it was 120 degrees. But I'm from New York and for some reason 100 degrees in New York, 120 degrees in Vegas isn't that bad. You got any idea why?
Is it humid?
Legalized prostitution.
Oh.
That is a Ray Romano joke. Thank you very much. I thought it was very clever.
It's not bad.
I didn't tell it right, but if I told it better, you would have liked it. And so I got home at 10:30. But then since I had been sick, John, like you, I had an Invisalign. I don't know why you got it. You're married. When I was married, I didn't give a crap what my teeth looked like. And or what my picture on the website looked like, or a lot of things.
Sure.
Then when one must be attractive to the opposite sex, these things become more important. But I got the Invisalign, so you do have to wear a retainer. What's disconcerting, Jonathan, is that when I was sick, I was so bold as not wearing the retainer for 3 days.
So you go
Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Then there's a little tight fit when you put that thing back on.
I can't believe it's that much of a difference after just a few days.
Neither can I. So so it hurts to put in. And I was like, I could take like Tylenol PM, but then I'm going to be knocked out. No, I was like, I don't want to go down and get it. So I like, and so it like hurt. And Tylenol PM, by the way, would be more for the Tylenol than the PM. The PM part is sort of a non-factor. But again, if Tylenol PM worked, people would be snorting bottles of Tylenol PM. But it is true. It's true.
I can take one Advil PM and I am knocked out.
Same.
Well, then I'm telling you, if that was the case, if there was an active ingredient, if the active ingredient is Benadryl, but if the active ingredient knocked you out, do you know the Tylenol problem we've had in this country? That's called fentanyl. All right. So anyway,
it doesn't get you high. It just makes me sleepy.
If anything knocked you out, though, it's the idea of being like that you cannot keep your eyes open, that you are like that's like a serious, like you're so calm and tired that somehow you don't have any choice but to go to sleep. It would be being abused like you couldn't imagine. I mean, it would be.
I'm sorry that over-the-counter pain relief / sleep aids do not have the same effect on you as they do on me and John. But don't try and change our truth.
Okay, I apologize.
Well
for
put. That was good.
And far be it for me. And I've learned so much lately. Neurodivergence and with Nicholas.
Oh, you really stepped in it with that one, didn't you?
Because you can't yell at him because of neurodivergence.
And don't say the other word that apparently is not the right word.
Oh, boy.
It was another neuro D word, but
right.
One of us messed it up, and woof.
So I put the Invisalign in yesterday, and I went and it hurt, and I was like, okay, it hurt, whatever. And then I went to sleep, and then I woke up, and I go, why do I keep waking up? And I'm like, oh yeah, it still hurts. Like not like a pain that is unmanageable or like something that I could have worn them all day. I can't talk. With those, I can't talk.
Same.
Like with the Invisalign, I could talk. I wore them during the show, but with the retainer, because they're like kind of like more industrial, thicker, because they're meant to last.
Right.
They're not temporary, so like I can't really talk with them in, and so it wasn't an option. I could have worn them all day, so it's not like a pain, I should say. It's like an annoying sensation. It's a pain, a very light, annoying tooth pain that it just feels like your teeth are shifting. And I want to know why they don't have anything to make your teeth not move anymore, short of just jamming them back into place. Like, shouldn't they have found something besides stupid veneers that look ridiculous? Oh boy, when people have veneers, do they look dumb?
Do you want my theory on this?
Yes.
Okay. because it is not. It's important to people in terms of looks, but in terms of medical research, why haven't they done it? Because it's not important. Crooked teeth are not a problem.
Oh, well, then why have they mastered 7,000 facial surgeries to make people look better? I mean, plastic
Cheaper.
surgery.
You're tightening up skin as opposed to moving bone.
Easier. In some ways, you are adding bone or transferring body parts to other body parts.
Yeah, but that's easy. I could do that.
Exactly. So I don't know.
That sounds like a Friday night Hardy House home surgery.
It sounds like if you had a method that you invented that once you had braces, you never had to wear a retainer because it was a procedure, you'd be pretty comfortable for the rest of your life financially. I think there's plenty of incentive there.
Well, get to work on it.
Well, believe me, I've got
tinkered?
I've got a lab in the house. I've got a small lab. It's in the laundry room.
I mean,
all this
bitching about it. Why don't you come up with a couple of ideas?
Well, it just occurred to me. So let the thought process take its place. I'm in the hypothesis stage, but they should have something. I recall when I got my braces off, they did something to my gums and tied up stuff to make my teeth not move as much.
Really?
I know they did. But it obviously didn't do anything. Kind of like that stupid nasal or sinus surgery I had that did absolutely nothing and cost me thousands of dollars.
Remember that? Yeah, the uncomfortability.
Well, you didn't do the proper PT afterward. That's
exactly.
would have worked.
I had to nasally douche for quite some time, and so there you go. And I was up all night, but I don't feel bad. I don't know why. You know what? Blind Scott, you have something interesting to say. The Blind Scott.
I was listening to Joe Murray and Skaz last night, and he was talking about your show. So, Fred's come a long way in the past 3 years. So Joe was making it like he worked on the show a lot in the morning. He said, you guys, he has a rundown. He has a real show. When he worked on your show, it was kind of chaotic. There was no rundown. At 8 a.m., you guys always did a funny bit. He was kind of making it like he has this really show that's structured by the book because he wasn't listening to the audio yesterday. You were doing at 7 a.m. So he was just predicting what happened, and Skaz agreed with him. He goes, "You're exactly right." He goes, "Yeah, I know, Fred, because you were talking about how people were listening to his show more than the Bruins, and he was saying they call it the Joe Murray cul-de-sac, but it really should be called the Fred Toucher cul-de-sac." And then he went into saying how people say all the shows are the same, but his is not the same. His is way different than all the other shows. But all right.
The idea of the show's not planned is insane. At any point in the show's history, we're changing topic every break. In fact, this show is more planned out by far than any other show on this radio station, because it is programmed tri-hourly. What I know quarterly. What would be 3? All 3 breaks are different. Is the point? And we don't introduce a topic and take phone calls. And so, yeah, that matter of the bit at 8. Yeah, that little thing that we did. That highly labor-intensive thing that required ideas.
That just comes off the cuff at 7:45.
Yeah, Joe's not involved in the planning of the show when he fills in, but and I don't have a stack of papers in front of me, but there's a show sheet.
Yeah, we have a show sheet, not a rundown. It's the different names for the same thing.
Yeah, Joe doesn't need one if he's filling in. He doesn't need a show sheet because he's there to talk if he wants to. He's not required. I love Joe. But the idea that this show's not planned, if it sounds like that, that's fantastic. But if the idea it's not planned is absolutely not true. Now, sometimes we don't go with the plan, but we have a show sheet with 3 blocks for every hour. I'm holding it up for the camera right now. And they're all filled in. This is what I used at 99X.
Mm-hmm.
Wally, his creation. I used the same template, but then Adam had to screw with it a little bit and make it 3s instead of 4s.
You gave me permission.
Yeah, I did.
We like the new sheet.
Do we?
I do.
Well, that's all that matters.
That's right.
It's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you know, I'm making big sweeping changes here.
Yes, exactly.
I took away a square. And I got permission first. But everybody likes it because I said so.
Technically, I didn't take a square away. I just repurposed it so you could write notes in it.
Does anybody write notes in the notes?
I do.
I will use the sheet.
So change it so we all have to do it.
What drives some people crazy is the lack of paper in front of me. But I don't require a lot of paper in front of me.
I like that.
There
You
is
shouldn't
the
have a lot of
internet.
paper. Exactly. We don't need to be wasting so much paper. Killing all these
I know
trees
what's
for
good.
no
Believe me, I
You
know
know, for
what's
that
going
reason
on,
alone,
buddy.
you should start printing out a bunch of stuff just to piss
Exactly.
him off.
Don't listen to him.
Well, it always annoys me when someone comes in with like not because of environmental reasons, obviously, but when someone comes in with like a binder of like information, I'm like, okay. Mitch Albom, we used to have to do that for. When I we're interned essentially. I think at the end I got paid a little bit, but like when I worked for Mitch Albom, you'll recall him, the guy who covered his ears on the sports reporters on Sunday mornings. He was a big free press writer. He wrote Tuesdays with Maury, and he had an afternoon show on WJR, which was like kind of a side gig. WJR was the WS. What's the thing here? WBZ.
Yeah.
Of Detroit. And it was in this big. Hardy worked in the same building, ironically.
At the Planet 96.3.
Yeah, in the Fisher Building, this beautiful old building. It's a wonderful, wonderful building. It's kind of cool, and it's on the top floor. And we would get in at 8:00 in the morning, and he had a staff, and we would work, and he would show up at. I think the show might have started at was 2 to 5 or 3 to 6. It was 3 to 6, and he would show up at 2:45, which is fine. I mean, it was his show, and it did really well. But we would hand him. He demanded, like, what's it called when everything's like planned out, like in a binder, like a. I can't remember the name of it. There's a
like
term.
a dossier.
Dossier. Thank you.
Okay.
He had like this dossier, and he would sit down. And so, I just recall this. Tony Danza was on the show, and Tony Danza would not get off the.
Well, what are you gonna have Tony Danza on and not have a dossier for that show?
So what's interesting is Tony Danza's on, and the only reason I remember is because he was on a treadmill, and he wouldn't get off the treadmill, and it pissed. And Mitch Albom finally got pissed off at something, and it was actually interesting. So it's the only thing from the show I remember, and and there was a really hot lady that worked on the show.
Oh.
And I pined for her, but she was not to be mine.
Older?
Yeah, I mean, at the time I was 22 years old. Everyone was older than me. And so we had to, for Tony Danza, prepare questions and have, like an encyclopedia of Tony Danza available at the ready. Because, you've been given 10 minutes with Tony Danza. One must be fully of the whole canon of Tony Danza projects. From Taxi to Who's the Boss. Everyone needs to know what Tony Danza's been up to.
That's a really good question. Name something, because everybody knows who Tony Danza is. Can you name a third thing?
Yes, the talk show, and only because Anthony did the great impression.
Okay, all right.
You know the Anthony Cumia bit.
No.
Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good. So Opie and Anthony used to have their producer go out to the line of people waiting to get into the Tony Danza show. And the guy would go, hey, Tony's picking someone out from the crowd today to come on the show, to come backstage and come on the show. Would you like to talk to Tony? And these rubes would take the phone, and they would be all excited to be a woman. And he did an exact Tony Danza. And so for 4 minutes, he'd be like, and then I want you to come back and, hang out and, and it's so great. And I love the people. And they're like, oh, Tony, I saw you sing in Atlantic City. Oh, yeah, I love to, shoot it. Sorry for that, and they'd be like, oh, Tony, don't say that. And then he'd go, yeah, I love the fans. You know what really relaxes me? Get ready, kids. And then he'd go, what? And he'd go, a nice effing B. It's so great. It's so great. And every time the lady pretends like she didn't hear it, and she goes, I couldn't hear you. Go, yeah, you did. But it's funny because he goes, get ready, kids.
Oh, get ready, kids.
This long buildup of getting him more and more excited. You know what I really like is a nice. All right. So that's on YouTube if you want to listen to it. I highly recommend it. All right, we'll be back in just a minute. 2 local teams at it, plus Tears. Where? Dallas.
Don't give it away.
That was a little
Doncic.
bit of what's the
Luka.
say?
Yeah.
Luka Doncic cried.
Let's just say he's on the second floor, upstairs.
Ah, you see what he did there?
He lives upstairs from you?
Yeah.
Yep.
You've seen him before.
Yeah.
All right, we will be right back.
Toucher and Hardy.
That's your game last night.
Yo! We're touching on Artie. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Now, I told you I was at a high school baseball game until 9:45 or something that was kind of far away. Exciting game. Despite the weather, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed that level of baseball. It's actually real baseball. It's actually quite enjoyable to watch. A good win for the team. Very exciting. But all I really needed to know from Jim Murray in the afternoon when he told me who was not playing for the Celtics. I did not check the score at any point.
Yeah.
I did not take my phone out during the baseball game to look at any of it.
I, too, did not feel compelled to pay close attention to this one, as it was not indicative of what this team is.
Okay, so I am admitting to have watched none of it, which is very rare for me. but like literally none of it. And it what is rare for me is not like at least like paying attention to what's going on during the game. Yeah. Like I mean, watching an entire 82 NBA basketball games, I just will not do.
Sure.
But the real question is, did Jonathan watch the game?
What do you think?
I think the answer is correct. I think the answer is yes.
Hardy, you got a guess? Not that you. No, he doesn't care.
Well, that's my real answer, but I will say yes. You watched the game.
I watched none of it.
Whoa!
I watched some of the Red Sox, but I watched none, not a second of the Celtic game.
Oh my goodness,
Sean
gracious.
What were you doing? Did you watch the Red Sox?
I just said that. Yes, I did. I watched.
See how much I don't care.
Literally 4 seconds before you asked that question, that's what I said.
He is the one who is presenting the material for this. He's
busy. He's got a lot of balls in the air over there.
I know.
He's got to play audio and everything.
See, that's
you and I are having a conversation.
That's a juggling reference there, Hardy.
And it's also something that requires preparation, Joe. All right, so go ahead.
So
what happened?
Well, what happened? If you were watching at the beginning, you heard names and saw plays from the likes of
Pritchard into the front court, comes right down the middle, lobs for Cornette, two-hand slam, and the Celtics are in front.
That was nice. Good defense again. This group is going to challenge you.
In front, 8-7. So, we got Pritchard, we got Cornette on the court at the very start of the game. All right, let's go 2 buckets later. Or
Shireman turns the corner, gets
1 bucket later, excuse me.
Shireman turns the corner, gets in the paint, scoops it up off the window and in. He pulled that thing down from his knees and scooped it up like he was pitching slow pitch softball.
So we've got
he was
Pritchard.
Doing what? What was he doing? Whoa, wait, Wawa? What's up, Barbara Walters?
Slow pitch softball.
Yeah. Whoops.
And he pulled that thing down from his knees.
It was impressive.
So we've got Cornette, Pritchard, Shireman. Mm-hmm. Who else can we get into the mix here early in the game? Next bucket.
Torrey Craig. Couple of dribbles to the right hand, finds Kada diving in two-hand slam.
Torrey
Craig is interesting because we've done this once before. Torrey Craig is an interesting guy because he's on the Celtics and he's an NBA veteran, and I've literally never heard of him. You like Shinerman and stuff like you know from college, like like even like bad players in the NBA were good in college or at least played usually at big programs. Or we're in the tournament, like you've heard the name.
You've heard the name at the very least.
Right. Like Xavier Tillman I watched at Michigan State, so on and so forth. I mean, there are exceptions, but Torrey Craig.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Yeah, well, I did not know that. And he went to a school, SC Upstate.
South Carolina, I imagine.
Well, you imagine, but no one's for sure.
No one's for sure, but I think it's South Carolina.
He went to SC. He's 34 years old. He's been in the league for 7 years. That means this guy grinded it out.
Yeah, this is
what a triumph for him.
I think the Celtics are like his 6th team too in 7 years.
But how many people in his situation would have given up? He's not a particularly like tall gentleman. Like there's nothing very special about him.
There are about 9 or 10 guys in the NBA that are like this, that just play for team after team after team. There was a point guard, Ish Smith, that set the record. He played for like 14 or 15 NBA teams over 10 or 11
Well,
years.
it's a great way to make a living. All I'm saying is that obviously he hasn't been in the NBA either steadily for 7 years or he didn't get into the NBA until he was in his late 20s, mid to late 20s.
Yeah, actually that's how it works with Torrey Craig. I don't think he actually made the NBA till he was 26 or 27.
So it just shows. And then he started a game for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
How many people can say they started a game for the Boston Celtics? That's what last night's game was like an inspirational story game.
Yeah. Well, early on it was a game, and then later it wasn't.
Banchero for Cole Anthony. Hounded by Torrey Craig, gets rid of it to Banchero. He's going to find Black, who's open in the corner. 3 is in the air and good. 17-2 is the Orlando run after the Celtics threatened to get back in it. Now it's a 24-point game.
24-point lead at that point, 74-50.
I can only imagine how much the Celtics were threatening to get back into it if there was the 17-point lead. I'm looking at the scoring, and they were outscored in every quarter. The fourth quarter seems like both teams kind of put their foot on the brakes.
I would think that was okay. Let's put it to bed. Let's finish up and make sure no one gets hurt.
Yeah, let's just run the clock out.
Yeah. Now, Orlando wins the game. They win the game handily, but this is a first-round matchup. This series here, the Celtics and Orlando, because with Orlando's win, they clinched the 7. So Orlando has a home game in the first play-in tournament game, and if they win that one, they come here. So Orlando has given the Celtics trouble over the last couple of years when both teams are fully healthy. But, obviously you'd like the Celtics to win in 5.
Yeah, they were down 10 early in the third. They got it to 8 at one point, it looks like, and then...
Okay, so so take me through this. If things remain the way they are...
Okay.
Do you have the standings in front of you?
I will get them while you speak, yes.
All right, so take me through this. So Orlando would host. Do you have them?
I'm just popping them up as we speak. Go ahead.
You give me the... Okay. So would Orlando host Miami and Atlanta would host Chicago?
No, the way it works is 7 plays 8, and then the winner of that game is the 7th seed in the playoffs. Okay?
Okay.
So, as it stands right now, it would be Atlanta going to Orlando, and the winner of that game is the 7th seed.
Okay.
The loser of the 7-8 game plays the winner of the 9-10 game to see who the 8th seed is.
Oh, fair. Okay,
so
I'm glad I
would
asked.
be Miami at Chicago, and the winner of that game plays the loser of Orlando and Atlanta to see who the 8th seed is.
Okay. And then, so Boston would play Orlando.
Yes.
Detroit would play the Knicks, and the Pacers would play the Bucks. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I was not positive how the play-in tournament worked.
Now, the West, if you look at the Western Conference Finals, I know that's kind of where we're headed next break, but the Western Conference, you have about 4 or 5 teams all within a game of each other, so no one has any idea who seeds 4 through 8 are. And, anyone could wind up in the play-in from those 4 or 5 teams. Anyone could wind up having home court in the first round.
And Golden State lost a game, on a buzzer beater last night from San Antonio against San Antonio. So that was not and Timberwolves are in dire straits. Yes, there's a lot going on in the West from teams that should be good.
That's why the Denver firing the head coach was important, because Denver was the 4, but there are so many teams right behind them, Denver could wind up in the play-in tournament. So that's why they changed coaches.
All right. We've learned a lot.
We also heard from Joe Mazzulla last night, who was not having it. I believe this is a familiar voice asking the question here. John, if you want to confirm this.
Mm-hmm. So as a matter of this guy's not kind of knowing how to play with each other, you're throwing combinations out there of guys who are really unfamiliar, and maybe some of the turnovers and mistakes.
Is that Gary Washburn?
Sounds like it.
Okay, I can tell you
so
that's Gary Washburn.
You know how this is going to go.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Not well.
Combinations out there of guys who are really unfamiliar, and maybe some of the turnovers and mistakes, just the little things that you see for lack of cohesion.
I mean, I appreciate everyone's creativity and the type of questions that they're asking, but we got to the hotel at 4:30 in the morning. That was really fun, what you guys did there.
What?
He said we got to the hotel at 4:30 in the morning, so that was really fun what you guys did there.
Meaning what the question Gary Washburn asked?
I don't know, but it's just he's cranky.
I think he must really like Gary Washburn, and that's why he feels so free to bust his balls, because it's not like Belichick like going after someone. It doesn't seem like that. And after we know someone who knows Joe Mazzulla very well, in Hardy.
Yeah.
And the way Hardy describes him is he couldn't be it's not a nicer guy walking the earth. So I'm wondering if him and Gary Washburn like have a very good relationship, and that's why, you're more comfortable busting balls to your friends than you are the people you don't like.
Yeah. Oh, I think
am I reading him right? You're the guy who knows him.
Yeah, I think if he were, and not to say that he would shy away from going after somebody he didn't like, but it would have a different tone for sure.
And that's why you bring a guy onto the show that has dined with the coach of the Celtics.
Right. And he knows enough that, the difference between somebody who's friendly busting balls and somebody who just dropped a coin at his feet. It's like, the conversation would have had a much different tone.
Yeah, and if you don't know what he's referring to, that is Joe Mazzulla being the toughest man on the earth because he takes jiu-jitsu.
Well, he thinks everybody should carry 5 coins, and then if you put a coin, if you take a coin out in front of somebody, you can do this 5 times a year, then that means that person has to then fight you.
Every time you play that sound, Adam, I think of DA, because that's what DA would play every time he got a new phone caller.
Compete level 10.
Yep. Every time DA
10
would
toes.
Get a new
Not
caller.
ideal.
I think if the caller said something he liked, they got him on.
Oh, no, I thought it was, you're new to the show? That's it.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, it's like every time, it's like a bat signal for any time someone steps, a woman heel hits a dead rodent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Every time someone
check the global map. Where did that just happen? Madagascar.
Well, I had it set up with the maintenance people every time someone went number 2 in one of the station bathrooms. Excuse me, we have to go to break. But it's fresh.
So the Celtics lost last night.
2 games left.
Another NBA story we'll get to here in a few minutes. You want to cover the Red Sox right now? It won't take long.
No, go ahead.
All right. There was 1 run scored by both the Sox and the Blue Jays last night in the first inning, and then nothing. They go to extras. What happened in the 10th?
Struck him out. 97 at the top of the zone. What a job by Jeff Hoffman. On to the 11th.
Christian Campbell, of course, stranding runners, plural. There was at least one going to be out there, but apparently there were multiple. So.
The winning run was on third base.
There you go.
He struck him out with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball with the letters. Yes.
Ground ball. Jimenez has it, and the Blue Jays win the game. Nick Sandlin picks up the save. 3 big outs in the bottom of the 11th. Bo Bichette drives in the go-ahead run in the top half of the 11th. The Blue Jays have come into Fenway and taken the first 3 games of this 4-game series.
A tremendous series to this point.
Apparently he's like beloved.
Yeah,
so
well, I looked it up. Buck Martinez has been there a long time.
Yeah.
So he
well,
is
it certainly sounds like.
However many Blue Jays fans there are really out there, Buck Martinez is loved.
Absolutely right. After the Red Sox seem to have righted the ship in the second game of the series, 3rd series of the season in, they have dropped 3 of 4. They will try and avoid the sweep later today.
No offense. 4 runs in these 3 losses.
That's cold, John.
Yeah.
Cold.
It's affected Toronto well, too. Yeah.
Well, they're used to it. They're from Canada.
They play indoors, Hardy. They have.
Oh! Do they have tunnels to get everywhere? They're used to the cold. They're acclimated. It's like altitude.
People used to be.
I've been proven wrong.
Everyone makes a big deal because there was hotel rooms, and one time you could see people having sex. But the real scene was going on in Fenway circa 1982, the troughs, or as I called it, the real game. Sword fight.
Or as I call it, the show.
All right. Someone was bawling all over the place. They couldn't stop crying yesterday.
That was in Dallas. We'll get to that next.
All right. Here are the headlines.
Essential. Music in the morning.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
No, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
2019 Rookie of the Year is
Luka Doncic.
2 seconds. Doncic for the win. Luka Doncic.
You're welcome.
All right. So a very odd scene there. The team that traded him against his will, a team that kind of, and then embarrassed him on the way out by bad-mouthing him in the media and leaking crap to the media about how he was, they were insinuating he has a drinking problem. They were insinuating that he was in terrible shape, all these things. Then he comes back. The crowd's already in it. Like they sold out the game and everyone's there, which is rare this season. And then on top of that, they're going berserk. They're going to go berserk anyway for him. They're going to chant "Fire to the GM," which they did during like free throws. But why the 3+ minute tribute video for the guy? It doesn't make any sense. And to be fair, I'm not the only one who's been saying this. I felt this way, but I've heard national guys question, why the hell would you do that? Like, it's so bizarre. You just got rid of the guy. And it wasn't like you're rebuilding and like a Ray Bork thing. It's not like we can't afford him, like you're a baseball team and like we just can't afford him anymore and he had to go make more money. This is a player that would have made more money with your team, that you chose, would have made as much money as you could possibly make with your team, that was planning to be with you for, he'd been with you 6.5 years. He was planning to be with you for 10 more. And you shipped him off. And now you're acting like you miss him? It's very strange. Very strange.
Well, we heard a bit of the tribute video there for a few minutes, and strange as it may be, his reaction to it, well, first of all, was, I guess, the way he played during the game.
Underneath. Oh, my goodness. What a circus shot. Luka with the left hand horse shot.
Now, did horse shot? Oh, I get it. Okay. He wasn't calling him a horse. That would be rude.
Horse shot?
Like a horse tranquilizer?
No, that's not what I was saying.
No, I know what you're saying. We're not going to say it, though. He played 38 minutes last night. He was 16 of 28 on his field goals. And what did he end up scoring last night?
45.
Very good from three.
45.
I think he was 7 for 10 from three.
45 points.
Yeah.
He wanted 50, but he got 45.
So 45 points. So afterward, he referenced, the video or the post game right away.
I don't know how I did it because when I was watching that video, I was like, there's no way I'm playing this game.
He was very emotional.
He was crying the day away on the bench during the presentation.
They did it during the starting lineups.
Yes. And he was crying, and then he was crying as the game started. And this is where, and I'm really not making fun of him. This is just confusion as to like why a man would cry in that situation. I
can't stop crying.
Thank you, Santa. I hear about these things and I just cannot relate. I could see crying maybe when you found out you got traded, and then you saw a bunch of fans and you started talking and you cried. Like I think my last day at 99X after the show, I got teary.
Actually,
because
we played it.
I didn't sound sad at all when you played it. No, not at all. Okay. Because I was surprised, and but the you had time to process this whole thing. The man needs to sit and meditate. He needs to sit in his emotions, Hardy.
Yeah.
This should have all been processed by now.
Yeah, but it's the familiar sounds and sights and smells. The olfactory nerve.
Well,
Fred.
that's what people were saying. They're like, and it's the stadium workers and it's the people that he had these relationships with. And it's like, okay, there's Zoom in FaceTime. Like, if you're there, I mean, like, you don't, like, lose touch with people. You're not being reunited with a kid after they went to Nam. I just don't again, I'm not judging him or making fun of him. This is more honest to goodness befuddlement of that being an emotion that would lead to crying. Because obviously he's not sad. You know, nothing bad is happening. He's being honored. So, like, it's a good thing. I do not understand the crying.
He's upset, still upset that they traded him. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's just upset. All those emotions came back of when he found out he was leaving. He went to the NBA Finals with that team last year. I'm guessing here.
If one is able to feel emotions other than frustration and rage,
yeah, I got it.
Then when these emotions well up, they have to come out in some way. So whether it's out of joy or sadness or remembrance, people cry.
You recall, I don't understand why people cry from joy because it's literally never happened to me. And I've never even come close, like not teary-eyed or not like on the verge, like nothing. Like it never joy.
You ever cry at listening to music?
I can't say for sure no, but I don't recall ever having that happen. I've teared up at movies. Like I've never started crying, but I've like
listening
teared
to a
up.
sad song after a bad breakup.
Probably.
Like
Yeah, probably. Like when I was, a teenager, I would love to be sad after a breakup. Like sad, like to feel sad, like to have cared about something so much I felt sad about it. Yeah, I would like that. Would be a nice feeling. At least at one point.
At least you'd feel.
At least I'd feel something.
What's it like to feel?
Fred?
Talking about like
Except
angry robot.
No, it's anxiety or boredom. Are my two settings. Anxiety or boredom are my two default things.
It isn't anger and rage like Artie would have us believe.
Oh, I'm constantly raging. Only Nicholas can bring it out of me.
Oh, here's Luka. Now, all right, maybe he has a better explanation. Maybe this will explain it to you, Fred.
Like I said, post-game interview, after that video, I was like, there's no way I'm playing this game, It was so many emotions, and, I just went out there and just played basketball.
See, it's many emotions, and all these emotions are fighting each other, and they build up, and then something's got to give.
When you got, like, every year you get older, do you lose, like, some, like, capacity to, like, you just don't feel emotional as much anymore? Like, when you're a teenager, like, everything. That's why I think music means so much to teenagers, is because in your favorite band's always going to be someone, basically the stuff that you cherish in terms of popular culture and artists when you were an adolescent.
Oh yeah, like, yeah. The music that you're into when you're a kid, yeah, you don't feel that same emotion. But I think if anything, I just don't get as like worked up or angry about stuff or worry about things. As the kids get older and all this stuff, you stress over every little thing. And like there was something with one of my kids yesterday, and I just said it'll be fine. And whereas 5 years ago, even, I would have been, oh, well, we got to do this and this. And I would have felt this, pit in my stomach. How can I help you fix this? How can we work through it? And I just find myself becoming numb to stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm really good at giving advice to other people. Taking it on my own, I have no ability. I worry a consistent amount. But that's hereditary. I told you, my grandmother used to go, Freddie, your father was supposed to be home at 6, and it's 6:45. And I go, yeah. You don't think he died? Wow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is not a lie. Oh. And it is not something that only happened once. She would visit, and then when it was time for my father to get home from work, when he said he would get home from work, she would pace around, and then she had asked me at least on a couple of occasions, if not multiple occasions,
if maybe he was dead in a car wreck.
If he had died in a car wreck.
Wow.
Did I think that he had died in a car wreck?
That explains a few things.
Indeed.
Okay.
All right.
It was a little bit of both, happy and angry, but, it's nice to see some familiar faces here. You know, I spent a lot of time.
What
with
is
them.
it? Is it nice or
He's
is
happy,
it? Are you
he's angry, familiar faces.
Like you said, you know, it was a lot of emotions. When I woke up, I was tired. I'm gonna lie, I didn't sleep much. I was excited about this game, and I really appreciate the fans, the way they reacted to me.
All right, so emotions are on a hair trigger because he didn't sleep well. There you go. There's your explanation.
I didn't sleep
we
well
found
last
the
night.
answer.
I had that
Which is
dang
why,
retainer in.
Which is why you're so emotional now.
Yeah, I'm
blubbering all over the place.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sports is your home for every Patriots game.
Look into the end zone, trying to keep the play alive. Falling down, he throws to the end zone. It's got it! Touchdown!
WBZFM and HD Boston. 98.5, the Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics now have 2 games left in their regular season after sitting their starting 5 and losing in Orlando 96-76. Peyton Pritchard and Baylor Shireman both started. Both scored 15 points in the loss. And with the win, the Magic locked themselves into the 7th seed in the East. The Celtics and Charlotte will play tomorrow night at TD Garden. They'll also play again on Sunday afternoon to wrap up the regular season. In Dallas last night, Luka Doncic scored 45 points in his first game back in Dallas, and the Lakers beat the Mavericks 112-97. The Red Sox offense was missing again last night against Toronto. They were beaten again by the Blue Jays 2-1 in 11 innings. Alex Cora saw Tanner Houck allow 1 run in 6 2/3 innings, and he also saw that it wasn't good enough.
He did a good job. Under the strike zone, a lot of ground balls. Gave us more than enough.
Sox had 4 hits for the night. Bo Bichette put the Jays ahead with a sacrifice fly. Sox will try to avoid getting swept this afternoon at Fenway Park. Bruins entertain Chicago at TD Garden tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Bruins have 3 games left, and round 1 of the Masters begins at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time, with the weather expected to be dry and in the mid-70s later today. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. With over 50 trucks on the road, because your clogged drain is their emergency, go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update is 7:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Download it wherever you get your apps today. Half toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Okay, and the cell phones. Okay, we all got cell phones. Okay, most of you have more than one, as a matter of fact. Just leave the cell phone in your bag, but just put the phone away. Okay, and if it rings, don't start coughing. Like, I've been in this league for 25 years. We all know when a cell phone goes off. We don't need to start coughing and doing that. We'll just turn it on and put it on silent, and we'll move on. Leave it in your bag.
That's actually kind of cool audio. We're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Do us a favor and subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub. The people at Beasley Media want that happening very badly. Ryan, if you could you go through that audio and count the amount of times he says okay? And then we can all bet on it. Have you guys heard the whole thing?
Not the whole thing.
Okay, don't
no.
listen to it.
All right,
so I have. So, it's cool. Like, someone filmed Vrabel addressing the team for the first time, and it's really just basic guidelines. Nothing is weird. And one of the Patriots sites put it out, like, or accounts or whatever the hell it is, put it out, and then they took it back.
Yeah.
So I guess the Patriots didn't want it out there. It's
nothing
Vrabel. Vrabel seems very relatable. He doesn't seem like I
thought he did a great job.
The description
with it,
of his hard on, I don't think is accurate.
Well, that's about as hard on as you can be in today's day and age.
No, I don't think it was. If he was talking to me, I wouldn't think he was being a dick or anything, or like he was trying too hard. Go ahead, Bert. I got the wrong mic on. Go. Yeah. Well, Jesus Christ, that one. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I felt like watching it. It was like, just be a professional.
Yeah,
like there wasn't anything to it other than
he said okay. 20 seconds of it, just to give you a little heads up when we play the game later. He said okay in how long, a 20-second clip?
It's like a 20.
He said it 4 times.
Clip. He said it 4 times.
He said it 4 times. The only thing when I heard the whole is he really has a speech hitch with this okay stuff. Mm-hmm. You'll hear it. And then you'll never. You know how I catch things like the little do and like during the football games, it will ruin him forever for you. Now every time you hear him, all you'll hear is him saying okay.
It's like Drake May. Yeah.
I think were you guys the one that you guys might have been the ones that ruined Gronk for me, that pointed out the little like giggle after when he thinks he said something funny.
I don't know, maybe.
I think it was you guys that said that.
I ruined things for a lot of people, and I'm not making that up.
No, but like Gronk had that little thing where he would go like at the end of like when he thought he said something funny.
Well, that's Zolak. That's not Gronk.
Well, Zolak does the same thing, but Zolak, he's putting that on. That's a put on. Yeah, Gronk. It was like a
was
like
like that-
Beetlejuice going me.
It was
Like
that little
who?
that little giggle when he thought he said something funny, and then I thought it was you guys that pointed it out to me because after whoever it was that said it to me, like that was all I could hear whenever he talked.
Yeah, I do that if I hear someone speaking, I will, and I pick up on something that they're doing a lot, or if I hear something that's happening repeatedly, like on TV, like when they did the CBS thing when they came back from like replays and stuff.
The little chirp.
It would go
Yeah.
chirp,
Yep.
and then I point it out, and then people email me and they go, "You've ruined it," and I go, "Yes, thank you." Now
Mission accomplished.
now you're in my brain.
Yeah.
This is how I'm thinking all the time.
Welcome.
All these little things you're not noticing for some reason are very apparent to me. And like if I was in the room, first of all, I thought Vrabel addressed the room very nicely. I thought it was a good video of him. He seems to command the room. He seems to know what's going on in the NFL. Fantastic. Let's not overanalyze it. But just my own part, if I was in, I would just be hearing okay at some point. I'd be like writing down on my piece of paper how many times he said okay.
I mean, if you played that video 25 years ago, like the thing that would stick out to you is like, whoa, he's like okay with them being late every now and again.
Yep.
Like, that's what would stick out to you. Like a football coach is okay. Like it would have made him a player's coach 25 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, like not going, men, discipline is, or just some like hokey, like thing that would seem quaint and hokey now. So I thought it was good. I liked Mike Vrabel addressing the team. I thought it sounded good. He pointed out, he addressed Christian Gonzalez when he was talking about being late. He goes,
and
Christian.
I thought that was maybe that was like a little. That was the one thing I looked at. Is that the Belichick thing where Belichick would address Brady? Where you're like, I'm going to pick out the best player on the team, and I'm going to address him directly in the room, and like that's going to set the tone. Like these rules go for everybody, and so like the guy that I'm going to call out is the most talented player on the team.
Yeah, which is smart. And then and if you got a guy that can take it, I mean, that was part of the stew. That was part of the recipe for the second half of the Patriots' success, is that players uniformly have talked about it. Is Belichick during film sessions and meetings was incredibly hard on Brady. Brady took it.
Yeah.
So then, and everyone, respected Brady as, the greatest player playing at that time.
I've told this story before, but like when I had a good relationship with Bill, I sat with him in 2008. This is the summer of 2008, and Brady was coming off the undefeated year. And I asked him, what does it mean for you to have your best player win the parking spot every year? This is when he was still winning the parking spot. Hardest worker, most locked in, guy who like is ever, and like he just looked at me and he said, it's exactly what you're looking for. And that was it. Nothing else.
Well,
and it was like that's what you want. It's like you want your best player to exemplify what you are. Well, because then you don't have to tell anybody else anything.
Well, I make fun of Ray Lewis a lot, and we've heard from guys on his teams that half the team, it was just noise in the background when he would talk.
Yeah.
But Ray Lewis was that kind of guy, when he wasn't involved in the other stuff. Like he was that kind of guy. Like he was, if your best player is, your hardest worker, that sets the tone for the whole team because you can't point at anyone. And that's kind of goes along with the whole with free agency, right? Like how you might be reticent to give a guy
because everybody's going to look at like, okay, like when a player goes into a player in the locker room, like when a new coach comes in, they're going to pay attention. This is why I think it is legitimately like I really like what they did in free agency because Milton Williams represents that. The other guys they brought in are guys they know. It's if you're a middle of the roster player, what's the first thing you're going to do logically? You're 25 years old. You're going to like look at what the new boss is rewarding, right? Like you're going to look at like, okay, like what are they paying? Are they paying the most talented guy? Are they paying the most hardworking guy? Are they paying a guy who's a combination of both? Like because you want to get paid. So you're going to pay attention to like, what are they rewarding here? And like, I think it's like, I know people have poked fun at it. I think it's a really important thing is that, I mean, it's one reason why, for example, like the Raiders traded for Geno Smith because Pete Carroll knows Geno Smith's going to come in there and be a torchbearer for his program. I mean, if you talk to Geno's like an evangelist for Pete Carroll and Pete knows that. So like now Pete's got someone in the locker room like, all right, we paid this guy $40 million a year, and he is in lockstep with me. So you need to be in lockstep with me too.
Can I ask you a question since you brought it up? I'm very curious with the methodology of Seattle and the way that they're doing things or not Seattle, of
Vegas.
Vegas, sorry. Vegas and the way they're doing things is that, they're a bad team. They don't have a lot of talent.
Yep.
The strategy there is a strategy which I like. I mean, there seems to be a modus operandi. But they brought in, it was unconventional in that a bad team brought in an old coach and traded and gave money an extension to an older quarterback.
Yep.
So what it probably goes along the lines of what you're saying, but what are they trying to accomplish there?
It's like, I think it's like sort of similar to what Kansas City did when they hired Andy Reid, where it's like, if you remember, that was a bad quarterback year too. That was the 2013 draft, which was E.J. Manuel in the first round. It was actually Geno in the second round that year.
Yeah.
But the idea,
no, Geno Smith in his draft was the first guy taken.
Huh?
He was the first guy taken. He was the second round pick. Oh, he was the second? EJ
Manuel,
Buffalo. Oh, something I always believed to be the case. Is
in the teens, right? That was like
16.
Well, Geno Smith was a second round pick.
Yeah. Matt Barkley, I believe, was in that draft, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is that you it's not a great year to be looking for a quarterback in the draft, and like that places like Kansas City was back then, where they need a complete cultural overhaul, right? Like, and they just need something. They need some sort of foundation. So Pete can give them that. Obviously, Brady had a huge hand in bringing in Pete, and I think it's like Brady has respect for what Pete built in Seattle, and he knows the guys who are in Seattle, and he knows like how unique what he had there was. So it's, can we establish like a new culture here? And then you bring in Geno Smith to get you to level ground the same way Alex Smith was that guy in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So you don't have to force it at quarterback. So for the next 3 years, Geno Smith is their quarterback, and like they have a chance now where they don't have to like force it in one given year where it might not match up. Like, so Kansas City, if you look, they really had how many draft picks did they use on players that weren't quarterbacks that built that roster up? So then when the opportunity came along where they said, that's the guy, and you have to get it right. That's not easy either, right? But like they bought them 4 years to find Pat Mahomes.
Right.
And so like I think that's what Geno does for them is Geno gets them to level ground. They presumably could, like he's been a playoff quarterback. So now they don't have to force that position. So they can kind of survey things over the next 2 to 3 years and wait for the right opportunity to come along, rather than being in this position where you have to force it in a single year, which is not where you want to be.
Okay, so what does Bert do for a living?
Oh, this is a rhetorical question. He covers the National Football League.
Does it well, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's real good.
Knows it like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
2013 draft.
Mm-hmm.
First quarterback taken.
Yep.
Man by the name of Geno Smith.
Really? It wasn't E.J. Manuel.
Checkmate.
Did I have the year wrong?
E.J. Manuel wasn't. I thought you were right, and then
you were right.
Said it.
You were right. Yeah, he was taking.
You really
16.
messed with me.
Gotcha.
He is very good at what he does, Fred.
Yes.
And
You
it
were
remains
right.
that way.
I wanted you to.
And there was a quarterback in the third round. God, what was his name?
I have it up.
Okay, so he played for the Saints. He's from, I believe, and his name has the same first letter, both the same first letter is like the first name and the last name.
Okay, so you're not thinking of Mike Lennon, who was taken 73rd.
No. I'm thinking about the Saints took a quarterback. God, what was his name? He's like from a mid-major school, and his initials were the same letter.
Okay, and you think it was in the third round?
Yeah.
Okay, I will be on the lookout for that. But
Okay.
when you heard Vrabel's speech, you know all the coaches. You go to all the training camps, or like certainly a lot of them. What where would you, just based on, and I know we're overanalyzing a speech, but it's kind of just for fun. Like in terms of the way he addressed the team, like from super friendly players coach to disciplinarian coach of like active-ish coaches, like guys in the recent memory, where would he kind of land on that scale?
I mean, this is his strength. This is his strength, is being able to stand in front of the room and address guys and have command. And I think you saw really good command there. And this is like what he does really well, And I think I remember talking to him when he got the Titans job, and I remember him saying something to me about being able to relate with every guy in the room, right? And he said, like, the one thing I think I can do is I can relate to every single player here. I've been the guy who's fighting for a roster spot. I've been the guy who's running down on kickoffs on special teams. I've been the Pro Bowler. I've been the guy who's one of the highest paid players in the roster. I've been the veteran who's just hanging on at the end. He's like, he said, I can legitimately look out into the room, and I've been every one of those guys. And I think you can see with his command, right? Like over, and I'm like, take the words out of it. Take what he said out of it. Just watch his command and watch how comfortable he looks in front of the room, and watch how he, it looks like he's addressing everybody. And then having, this is his
like
element.
the Mona Lisa.
No, this
always
is
seems like his eyes are on you.
This is his element. You know what I mean? Like,
and we've heard from players, Aqib Talib, that that was the case in Denver with
Vance Joseph,
and it was the case in Detroit with Matt Patricia, where legit this thing that was taped, this very first meeting of the season,
they know
the veterans have looked at each other and gone, "This guy's an a-hole. Like, this guy's a complete loser."
No one knows faster than the players.
Right. So as much as I said, we're just kind of having fun, the first meeting we've heard from players directly from them that it was literally the first meeting. Patricia famously lined up his Super Bowl rings and then admonished everyone on the team for not having one. And whatever, I can't remember what Vance Joseph did.
Patricia's problem was he wasn't taking over something that was broken, because they were actually pretty good.
Yeah, Caldwell was good. Yeah, no one could understand why they fired Caldwell, because he was bold enough to have a winning record. He was 9-7. Yeah,
right.
And everyone was like, they don't win. Like, why would you fire a guy who actually won? And I think it was his like dour demeanor. I really do. I think that if he was more. If he looked more enthused, I think it was that way. It was before this lady was this generation of the Fords owned the team. She's been a much better owner, but that was, I believe, William Clay Ford.
So this video came down too, right?
They took it down, I guess, like pretty quickly after they put it up.
Because I saw it was like they had the subtitles and it was the Spanish.
Right. I believe some Spanish social media account for the Patriots put it out.
But I don't understand why you would take that down.
I think I know why.
Why?
I bet it's because Mike doesn't want to make it about himself.
Okay.
I bet Mike saw that and said, that's corny as hell that we're putting that up there and making a big deal out of something that I don't want to make a big deal out of. It's like that line he had at the owners meeting, right? Which was, we won March. Awesome.
Okay.
Right? Like, remember that line?
Yep.
I think that's what this is like that he probably feels like, this would be my guess. Again, no one said this to me, but my guess would be he probably saw that go up. And what the hell? Like I'm just giving them the rules. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, and you're making a big deal out of it. And so, like, if you see, like, I think one thing people here are going to learn about him is, like, he is going to make it about the players. And because he was one, he's going to make everything, like, he had no problem with the in-house media people, Perlo and all them, doing the videos with the players coming in and their kids in the locker. He has no problem with any of that. This isn't an access thing. This isn't like we're closing the gates and no one else can be in. I would bet that came down because Mike saw it and said, I don't want this to be about me.
All right.
Because it makes it harder for him to sell it to the players then, you know?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, well, he said that stuff to us, but 5 minutes later, it's up on the internet. Like,
yeah, he was performing for an online audience.
Right.
All right. It was more performative than it was substantive.
Right.
All right. We will be back in just a moment. Bert Breer is with us for the hour.
listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Content strategist for the MMQB, like we were saying, one of the Spanish outlets in Spanish language put out a clip of Mike Vrabel first addressing the team. It was taken down, but I think it's safe to say that we've been nothing but complimentary about all of it. But I did tell you that now I am going to ruin it for you. So it's a 3 minute and 40 minute total is what the Patriots put up. Here is a minute of it. We are going, so we're going to play the minute. Okay, so let's play the minute. I'm doing this right, Adam, correct?
Do you want to have them guess the total before? Because once you play the minute, they'll be able to get an idea of how many there are. So maybe we have everybody make their guess.
Does he know how many total there were?
Yes.
Okay. So are we guessing how many there are in the 3 minutes and 40 seconds?
Yeah. So it's 3 minutes 45 seconds was the total
Okay.
speech.
Guess how many times he says okay.
So this is just clarify. This is supercut, a minute long, like edited version of the full 3+ minute, and it's a number of okays. It's the same in both.
Okay.
Right. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Guess how many times Mike Vrabel says okay in 3 minutes and 40 seconds?
Well, you said 4 in the short amount of time that we heard earlier, which I didn't notice, but now I'm going to. So 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
If he
that's a
said
lot.
it once every 10 seconds, that's 6 times a minute times 3 minutes is 18. 4 more, 22. I'll tack on 3 extra, 25.
I'll say 40.
All right.
And it's closest without going over.
Oh.
It is. Price is Right rules.
No, you just implemented that after I said it. So, no, those
So if
those
I
don't
think
count.
everybody's over, then I just say once?
Yeah, that's not fair at all. No.
I'm going to say
No.
35.
It's 40, and it's closest regardless.
All right.
I'm just trying to think, like, okay. I have that tick, too. I say right a lot.
You got that right.
Yeah, you do.
I say right a lot.
Right.
Yeah, well, you know.
Right?
Not telling us anything we don't know, Jack.
I'll go with 20.
All right.
All right, well, you're low. There's no way it's 20. All right, here we go.
Oh.
Here's 1 minute of
and
it.
perfectly timed. Tom Watson just was the third ceremonial.
Can we just play
starter.
this because we've set it up?
Before we lose you for the rest
No,
of the
I'm
show.
just saying it worked out well. I mean,
no, but we just set it up. All right, so here we go. We've all guessed how many times he's going to say okay. Here is a supercut of the okay.
And now.
Okay, that I would ask us to try to abide by. Okay, respect the football team. Okay, the second one is, okay, I'd like you to have when we're in a meeting, okay, I just ask that when we're in a meeting, okay, that we just pull our hoods down. Okay, we just talked about time. Okay, all you got to do is say, hey, something came up. Okay, after about 4 or 5 times, that starts wearing off. Okay, and the cell phones. Okay, we all got cell phones. Okay, and if it rings, don't start coughing. Like I've been in this league for 25 years. Okay, leave it on the counter or leave it in your locker. Okay, you don't need to do a set. Okay, and what my goal was. Okay, and I'm proud of my teammates for the effort in which they play. Okay, to get started. Okay, when was the last time they won, the New England Patriots won the division? Okay, and it's all going to be based on how do we make you guys, okay, as good as you possibly can be. Okay, we're going to treat those people with the utmost respect. Okay, if you've got a problem, you can cuss me out. I'm a big boy. I promise you, we can handle it.
All right, is that all the okays?
That's all of them.
So,
Let me
Bert,
know when
right?
you want the total.
I think I have the total.
I don't know.
Okay, what was the total?
Hardy has the total.
Absolutely on the number 25 Ks, and I nailed it.
25.
I did it.
Yep. 25 okays in 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
I was worried both ways. I thought, oh man,
And
because
they're not even okay. It's just K.
Yeah. And we should have explained that at the beginning that K's count as okay. But
well, I think it should be self-explanatory. I mean, there's no money on the line.
I was worried that I was going to be way under, and then toward the end when he got a hold of himself, I thought Bert maybe had it. But okay.
I wonder if that's a nervous thing. I wonder if he was nervous addressing the team, so he really leaned into that tick.
But did you notice how I did that, John? I had a formula, so I had no way of knowing.
Yeah,
but I deduced it.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
what a foreign concept to you.
Truly remarkable watching you work, Hardy. From over here.
Des, we know you won, but okay.
Yeah.
If you don't know. The one time I've seen John truly offended that I can recall.
Now, why do you, I brought it up once.
Since the very beginning of our relationship, when he was offended by a lot of stuff, was when Hardy said he had no ability to deduce things.
He had no power of deduction.
No power of deduction. Like, it really did piss Wallach off. Which is very, very rare. I've seen him get annoyed and like, he gets annoyed at me, and I've seen that, but like really like kind of like angry is what he got at Hardy. So there you go. There you have it. So now every time Vrabel speaks, all you're going to hear is when he says, okay.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yes, I've ruined him. Hopefully he has a 10, 15-year career here. And you got to just live with it.
Okay.
You got to sit with it, okay?
Okay.
You got to sit with it the entire time.
Okay.
All right. So here we are, Bert, a week, 2 weeks from today is the NFL draft. And by the way, the beast is out. John, you have something.
Well, no, you were kind of build upon the NFL draft point. I was reading something from Daniel Jeremiah yesterday that said, while this draft is very top-heavy, Bert, obviously people are talking about Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter, and Cam Ward's going to go in the top 3, but then you just throw the rest in a hat in different tiers. Daniel Jeremiah said, yes, it's top-heavy, but all teams should be able to find 3 or 4 starters out of this draft. Do you agree with that?
DJ actually said that to me a couple months ago, and I thought it was a good line. He said, it's not a star draft, it's a starter draft. And so what he meant by that was that you're going to be able to build kind of maybe the guts of your team, which is a good, it's
a really good thing for this team.
It's a good thing for the Patriots because they have 4 in the top 100, right? They've got the extra pick from the Matthew Judon trade in the 3rd round. And it's why, I love Abdul Carter. I think Abdul Carter would be, and he's not perfect, but I think Abdul Carter would be the ideal guy for them. Now, he's like a little bit of a different guy, which a lot of pass rushers are. And there's this.
Explain. What do you mean he's a little bit of a different guy?
I don't think he's going to be the captain of your team. You know what I mean? I do think.
In that he's reclusive, he's quiet.
He's just a different guy. Yeah, he's just and I don't think he's.
Is he like a fun different?
I don't think he's a bad guy, but he's a little edgy. And that's the way a lot of guys that play that position are. They are different. The guy that he's compared to a lot, Micah Parsons, is a different guy. Another guy he's compared to a lot, Von Miller, is a different guy. If you look at guys at that position. They are a lot of times different guys.
A little too mean to be a captain.
The other thing, the one actual physical flaw that he has is they have this thing. This is one of those newish things that they calculate and has been put into the data with everything else, which is lean body mass. And if a guy at that position has a lower lean body mass, then he's considered more susceptible to injuries. Abdul Carter has lower lean body mass for that position, and he's already been hurt a bunch. So he has the shoulder, he has the foot. So that'd be one of the concerns. But, this guy's dynamite. Again, the Von Miller comparison is one I've heard, just as far as his explosiveness in his first step. So if there's a way to get him, then that's great, and I think that's the ideal scenario. I don't think that I would trade up for him, though. And I know that's going to sound weird. The reason why is because I think it would probably take 2 of your 3, at least, 2 of your 3 day 2 picks. In other words, you'd have to get knocked down from having 4 picks in the top 100 to having 2 picks in the top 100. And I just think this team needs more good players.
Well, there's no question
with
about it.
With a lot of starters out there that you can use.
The Patriots, it's not a question.
Right.
The only thing you would want to add picks. There's no way you want to take picks away. If there's a lot of starters in this draft, like John said, you get 4 starters out of the draft, they're starting. If a team is going to get 4 starters out of this draft, it's the Patriots.
Right.
Because there's much more than 4 openings on this team. And even if Travis Hunter was to fall to them, and they took him as a corner, he'd still start. I know you signed a corner in free agency. Your best player is a corner,
Yeah.
But he'd still play.
I mean, and again, like even with Hunter, like there are still questions with Hunter, which is his size, and like is he going to hold up if he plays both ways? Are you getting the most out of him if he's not playing both ways? The comps are great. Like the 3 comps I've heard for him as a receiver are Stephon Diggs, Devontae Smith, and Garrett Wilson, and that's awesome. That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like, but
isn't Garrett Wilson tall?
Is that a guy you take with the 4th pick? No. Garrett Wilson's 6 foot. Garrett Wilson's around the same height.
He's
as
just
Trevor.
very lean, I guess.
Yeah, he's lean. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
he can.
and so is Travis Hunter. Like, and so is Diggs, and so is Devontae Smith.
In answer to your question, yes, I do take him. If he's that wide receiver,
And yeah, I would too.
I
would
absolutely
too.
take him.
I would too. He's just not. But generally, like if you look at the receivers that go that high in the draft,
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, Calvin Johnson,
It's fine.
But I'm just saying that's what it is. Like that if there's a flaw, that's what it is. But those two guys are so far above the rest of the class, and that's why I think it would be complicated trading up anyway. Because if you're the Giants or you're the Browns, don't you look at it and say, well, we view the 4th pick this year like we would have viewed the 15th pick last year.
Right.
So we need a lot. If we're gonna, because this isn't like us going down 1 or 2 spots. This is going to feel to us more like going down 10 or 15 spots.
If you were sitting at 4 and you took Ted McMillan, if you want to talk about a wide receiver,
yeah, I would do that.
he's all over the place on people's boards. Like he's all over. Like people got him low in the 1st round. People got him the 4th ranked prospect on their board. Because you talk about the top 2, some people got him 4th ranked prospect on their board.
Yeah, I don't think he's for them, for the Patriots, for what they're trying to build.
Okay,
Just
his attitude.
Not his attitude. I just don't know. He's another one where you look at him and say, like, okay, like he's a different personality. Where's his foot? Like with Carter, there's no question about his football character, right? Like he wants to, like he is a badass out there, and he wants to be the best player and all of that. Like with McMillan, there's a little bit of, is he going to be the toughest guy out there? Like, there's just like those sorts of questions, and like, is he going to be kind of a guy who can set a tone from a work ethic standpoint? And there's a few of those, and like, so that's why I think, so I still, if I had to put my money on it right now, I'd say it's Walker or Campbell. Walker, I think his,
let's save it. Because if you're going to get into it, let's break. Here are the headlines. fantastic explosion.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
This is breaking sports news. Powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. On 98.5, the Sports Hub.
John is the one who said to play breaking sports news.
I think it's worth
We're Toucher and Hardy. Bert was saying, like, this is annoying. I'm sitting on a tweet, which is ridiculous that's the way you guys have to operate. Not that you have to wait to put out a story, that you have to wait to put it on the most idiotic medium in the history of the world.
I know you hate Twitter.
It's awful. It's bad. It's not only something that I don't like. It's legitimately bad for people. It is not a good thing. It's a very, very, very negative thing.
All social media is, though, to some degree.
To some degree, but not as bad as Twitter. It's a think tank for people so idiotic that it's dangerous.
It's kind of like becoming like
a white nationalist thing. Yes,
what MySpace was, right? Like at the end, remember when like MySpace.
Okay, let's get to the breaking news.
Yeah, so Abdul Carr is going to be with the Patriots on Monday.
Ooh.
It's interesting in that he only has planned to take 4 visits, which, makes sense. Like because he doesn't want to, and this is something we saw with Marvin Harrison last year, where Marvin Harrison didn't do medicals at the combine, and like his logic was, I don't want to give every team in the league my medical information when I know there's no way I'm going to fall out of the top 5. So why would I give the other 27 teams in the league all of my medicals? Why would I do that?
Why would that hurt him?
Well, because like you're going to be a free agent in 4 years. You could be a free agent in 4 or 5 years.
But wouldn't they want medicals then?
Yeah, but then like I mean, there could be like let's say you had like a knee injury that resolved itself. You know what I mean? Like then they wouldn't have the back. They wouldn't like go back like, well, what about that knee injury?
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like so, there's like little things like that, like where it just there's not a huge benefit to giving the rest of the league all your medical information. You know?
Okay, so
now, but it only works for guys like that sort of strategy. Only works for guys at the very top. Because if you're going to be a 2nd or 3rd round pick, you want everybody to have it. You know what I mean? Like you want everybody to have as much information as you can give them, so like they don't have to go hunting around for it or think you're a pain in the ass. Anyway, so Carter's strategy has been to I'm going to limit like the amount I'm traveling around. I'm going to limit because he does have the medical. Mm-hmm. I'm going to limit the amount of team doctors that are going to get a look at me. I don't need to give everybody everything. And I think it's, like, again, like this is sort of like an athlete empowerment thing to some degree too, where it's just they're handling the other side, they're all handling this like a business. So I'm going to handle it like a business too. And I'm not going to just, open the gates for absolutely everybody, including teams that have no shot at getting.
He is supposed to meet with the Giants today and tomorrow, according to Adam Schefter, but still meeting with the Patriots on Monday.
And he met with Haslam, right? He's the one who met with Haslam,
yeah,
right?
So Haslam went to dinner. So what was interesting about the way that the Browns handle it, which is another kind of smoking gun that they're not taking a quarterback, with the second pick, is that night they had the owner, Jimmy Haslam, the GM, Andrew Berry, the owner's son-in-law, who's an executive vice president, out to dinner in State College with Abdul Carter ahead of his pro day, which he wasn't even working out at. But the head coach wasn't there. Stefanski was in Mississippi to go see Jackson Dart throw at his pro day. And Jackson Dart isn't going to be the second pick in the draft. So, like, that tells you what they're looking at doing is taking Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter at 2 and then turning around and maybe getting a quarterback in the second day.
Which leads us to the question that is enthralling me.
Yeah.
Is, of course, where Shedeur Sanders falls. Which the first team that you would think could take him is, I know Vegas is having him in or something, but
next week,
they're not going to take him. Vegas isn't taking him. Just yes or no, Vegas not taking him.
I don't think Vegas takes him. I don't think the Jets take him.
No, the Jets will not take him, but the Saints.
The Saints are the one where you look at maybe I had somebody say to me yesterday that like they think Shedeur, whoever take Shedeur. It'll be an owner-driven thing, which was an interesting point of view.
That's not good.
But I look at it like I think if he falls out of the top 3, there's a chance he falls all the way out of the first round. I just
could Jackson Dart get taken ahead of him?
Yeah, I think the NFL views Shedeur Sanders closer to Jackson Dart than they do to Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward is seen as separate now from the rest of the quarterback group, and I think Shedeur Sanders is much closer to the pack than people realize. And look, like I think part of this is, again, like you have this all this crap, and you guys know how I feel about this, but this guy's skyrocketing up and this guy is falling down, and that doesn't work that way. It's like all of us catching up to the way these teams really feel about the guys. Most of the work is done in the fall. If you're really falling or rising this close to the draft, it's probably because somebody put out a video of you in a gas mask.
Yeah, right. And then you become this like all-world player. Yeah. It's Tunsil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tunsil, and then he just goes like, "Oh, I'll be the best. I'll be the best left tackle in football."
And so like I think ultimately, I think the Browns wind up with Hunter or Carter. I think the Giants take whichever one's left, and then like I think Campbell and Walker to me are the 2, because I think the reason I feel that way is because from a character and makeup standpoint, they both fit what Vrabel wants to a T. Walker, I have heard, has been like almost like a coach in his meetings, right? Like he's gotten into.
He's the Georgia
edge rusher. I've heard he's been like somebody said to me, he was like, it was like I was watching a defensive coordinator. And Kirby Smart, obviously, like they ask a lot of those guys. It's for people who don't know, that was Nick Saban's right-hand man in Alabama forever, runs the Georgia program. And so, I like Jalen Walker, a Swiss Army knife, versatile. Like I think Vrabel might see a little of himself in Jalen Walker in just kind of the makeup and the character. I had somebody say to me yesterday on Will Campbell after they met with him, they were like, I think Vrabel's going to ask that guy to move into his house.
Oh, yeah. People love that kid.
I'm not, and I'm not, of course, not against having like good character guys and stuff like that. But for a team that needs so much, can they play? I mean, can they play?
But if you have Hardy, if you have a dozen guys, right, that you like view as okay, so Carter and Hunter are separate, but you get past those 2. If you have a dozen guys that are like relatively similar, and that's a tiebreaker, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Give me the one with the biggest upside. Let that be.
And I think that's Walker too. I think that's also Walker.
Okay, fine.
Like, I think Walker's the upside guy. I think Campbell's the guy where, like to me, and I made the Brandon Sheriff comparison, which 10 years ago, he was a tackle at Iowa. There were questions on whether or not he was a tackle. He went to training camp, got his ass kicked in Washington's training camp by Ryan Kerrigan. Washington decided, you know what? He's a guard. Morgan Moses was actually the guy who beat him out at tackle. And he's made 5 Pro Bowls and was the highest paid guard in all of football for a while. So, like, I think if you draft Will Campbell, you start him at left tackle, you have to be comfortable with that scenario, though.
But your worst case scenario you're saying is you get an elite guard.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that's what that is, where with Walker, and that's the thing is you're compromising on all these guys. His size, Walker's size is the question.
Mm-hmm.
But go back and so the tackle from Texas.
We really don't have time, but he ruined his draft stock. Yeah, you've told that story before. Yeah, you've loved Jalen. You've been on Jalen Walker the whole time.
Yeah.
And I heard something about his teammate Mikael Williams that he's not going to get out of the top 10.
He looks like he was. That guy looks like he was built in a lab to play defensive end. Like if you look,
he had 5 tackles last year, but everyone loves him.
There's no production.
There's no production.
But it's like, and Shamar Stewart's another one from Texas A&M, where if you look at him, it's like, oh my god, like he like legitimately looks like a science experiment. Like, how do I make a defensive end? So, and Walker, like that's the thing with Walker is Walker doesn't have the physical.
He has the production, but he doesn't have the physical size. All right. Well, Bert, everyone read his tweet about how Abdul Carter is visiting the Patriots on Monday, because that is the way that information is traded. And
I'm
read
sorry
him
for disappointing you.
Well, listen, what are you going to do?
And they put me up to the breaking news sounder. It wasn't my idea.
I think
it was John's idea.
It was well worth it.
It was John's idea.
John was really pushing it during the break.
Well, John went above your head, actually, because you said don't do it, and then he just went and told Adam to play it.
It's the ultimate Burt blast. Put the metaphorical gun to
The
Adam
show
Cole's head.
was better for it.
All right, very
That's how
good.
I see
Okay.
it.
Bert,
so
blast.
much smart.
And
All
thanks
right.
for accommodating this week, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. Reed Burt in the MMQB as we lead up to the draft. When we come back, Guy from Machine has a little treat for us that we have recorded. We will have that for you in just a moment.
scores! What a blast by Boston! Waiting, Holiday three. Good night!
WBZFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics now have just 2 games left in their regular season after a 96-76 loss in Orlando last night. The Greens sat their entire starting 5. Franz Wagner scored a game-high 23 points as the Magic clinched the 7th seed and home court in the first play-in game next week in the Eastern Conference. Celtics are back home to play Charlotte tomorrow night. The Lakers visited Dallas last night in Luka Doncic's first game back since the big trade. Luka scored 45 points in a 112-97 LA win. The Red Sox offense shut down again. They lose to the Blue Jays 2-1 in 11 innings. They'll try to avoid getting swept this afternoon at Fenway Park. Bruins will entertain Chicago at TD Garden tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. As Bert Beer just reported on this show, Penn State pass rusher and would-be top 4 draft pick Abdul Carter will visit the Patriots Monday. And round 1 of the Masters underway at Augusta National. Only a handful of men on the course right now. Defending champion Scotty Scheffler will tee off at 10:15. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Colossal Lobster Rolls at the 99. 100% North Atlantic lobster piled high on grilled brioche. Served hot, buttered, or with just the right amount of mayo and celery. You gotta love the 9s. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, tomorrow it's over. We've had a good time. We've had 8 contestants all vying to be out of our non-insular universe. Top dog, what do they get? Absolutely nothing. It's called Hardy.
Sex.
Toucher and Hardy features Fred Toucher with Hardy and Wallach too. Adam 12 and Nick and Ryan. But the most important person is you. Sixth man.
The New Woke Order.
Sixth man.
I'm totally blind, by the way.
Sixth man.
A lot of people are going, ooh, oh.
Sixth man.
6
is a very seductive number.
Wow. All right, so there you have it. It has come down to Adolfo, who we played some audio from earlier in the week, and our friend Guy from Machine.
Whoa. Can it not?
Dang, nail it. Joie de vivre. Made it to the finals.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my, I'm on a red carpet. Hello.
Do you think that he has any idea what we're talking about?
Not at all.
Not a chance. Not a chance. He has no
There
clue.
is zero. I don't even know if he could put this dial position on his radio. Not that he doesn't have the capacity to do so, that he cares so little about this.
Now, something I think needs to be addressed here is that Nick went to Guy from Machine's new place of employment, which is Bianchi's at the Sandbar in Revere. On Guy from Machine's suggestion that he said, yes, come in on Saturday and I'll be able to talk to you. And Nick got there and it was anything but him being able to talk to Nick. He's very busy. He's essentially all over the place, running around. It's a restaurant. You get busy, and they couldn't do it. So instead, Nick met up with them out closer to where Guy from Machine lives, which was not an easy drive, and B, you will hear them. I believe
Around where does Guy from Machine live?
I can't even begin to tell you. I think
like where in Massachusetts?
Northwest of here.
Groton?
Oh yeah.
Actually, it's probably pretty close. Let me check that.
Yeah.
He's got what if he had a beautiful farm? The Guy from Machine farmland. What if he had one of them?
Had all the chickens.
When I have to go to my son's school, there's orchards and things of that nature. It's very exciting.
But I believe this interview, along with everything else that Guy from Machine favors us with today, was recorded in a car while it was raining. So this.
How romantic, you two.
Oh, Nicholas.
Is that right, Nick? Did I nail that? Yeah, because you could hear it. It made this whole process that much more difficult.
So did you meet in a parking lot?
Rest stop.
Did you put your foot under the door?
We met at a coffee shop.
Okay, so you met at a coffee shop, but you didn't go inside the coffee shop?
It was jam-packed. We couldn't do what we needed to do.
Wow,
there.
people are out and about you. You couldn't do what you needed to do there. That's right. So you went into his car, your car?
My car.
Oh, and Guy from Machine was not hesitant to do that.
Yeah. He's a very tall person.
Well, Guy
so
from Machine can handle himself. Yeah, especially against Nick.
Yeah, everyone's tall compared to you.
He was sitting
Nicholas.
in there like a clown car. My car is very small, and he's like 6'4", 6'5", maybe a little bit.
He's not 6'4" or 6'5", Nick.
No way.
How tall are you?
6'2". He's not taller than me.
All right, so he's
he's like 7 feet tall.
Well, you know what?
Real height
Next to me is taller.
He couldn't
because I'm
fit in my
5'6".
car.
We've met this gentleman.
Yeah, take the front seat out. He sat in the back seat like Hightower in Police Academy.
He couldn't fit in my car. The guy's 5'11".
I'm a tiny person. Everybody's bigger than me.
This guy's got a size 9.5 shoe. I mean, he shops at Foot Locker.
He buys his pants at the adult store, not the fat toddler store.
Anyways, we did it in my car.
You go average height. He's at least inch too taller. He's a giant. He could barely fit in my car. I drive a tiny car.
Nick is turning into his father a little bit.
Nick, you're turning into me because we're estranged. I just do that to make Hardy laugh that hard. Make a video of him laughing this hard. You don't have to put the estranged part in it. It's the only thing I can do that makes him laugh that hard. Oh, Nick, you're turning into me. It's God telling you. You're being selfish.
He's turning red. I haven't seen Hardy this happy in a long time.
It's true.
Look at that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding about
the
that.
clouds parted there for a second.
I'm just joking.
Wow.
There's nothing. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
Because we're estranged.
All right, very good. All right, so here is Nick with the. He was kind enough to twice. Nick, I do appreciate you going out twice for the guy from Machine.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you so much. All right, here is Nicholas with the guy from Machine. This is not the segment. This is just a lead into the segment.
Oh, yeah. Guy from Machine, hello.
Hello, how are you? Hello.
Congratulations, you made it to the finals.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my, I'm on a red carpet. Hello.
How do you feel about reaching the finals?
I feel like rolling on a black carpet.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who you're facing.
What does that mean?
Rolling on a black. I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know if it's metaphor. I don't know if it's just a play on words with the red carpet. I don't know.
Or if he messed up, it meant to say red carpet. I don't know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who you're facing, but his name's Adolfo Gonzalez.
Oh, that sounds spicy.
You want me to pull a picture of him?
Yeah, why not?
Here he is. That's Adolfo.
Oh, Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, coffee cake time. Hello.
Yes.
Entenmann's, I think your new commercial is here.
Oh, coffee cake time. Hello.
Is that so?
Like, it's like this group of guys that are at brunch, and then they go, what time is it? And you think they're going to go like mimosa time, but he goes,
oh, coffee cake time. Hello.
And then like this Entenmann's just comes onto the table. Hello.
You take coffee cake and make it, use that instead of bread. And
They can't find a decent sandwich place around here.
Yeah, but you go ahead and just make it out of coffee cake.
You make the guy from Machine the spokesperson for Entenmann's. If they ever do another Sex in the City, there's Entenmann's in it. Because gay culture, of course, leads into that culture.
Yeah. He is a big guy. But he's a fighter, so it's going to be a tough matchup between you guys. But I'm here to record what you're going to bring to the final. Each of you have to record a segment for the show, and then we're going to produce it and play it for everybody. And then once everybody has a chance to listen to it, then the polls open up, okay?
Sure.
Before we...
Yeah. What do I care?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know what's going on. Yeah.
I already said hello in the name of my business, and
Right.
everything after this.
Everything is just washing over me.
Yeah, I already made you come to my restaurant to not do anything, so what do you want out of me? And made you drive up here.
Sure.
Before we get started, do you have any words to encourage people to vote for you in these finals?
Yes, I just hope that you look in your heart, deep inside, and vote for the guy from Machine, which is the guy from the Sandbar, and Revere. And come do karaoke with me. I love you.
Yeah. So that is what he came to do. But when you do go to the Sandbar place in Revere, this could happen. A listener sent this into us, and this is not was not recorded for a bit or anything. Guy from Machine knew he's being recorded. It's this obviously this guy's girlfriend or wife's birthday. He sent us a video of it, and listen to the guy from Machine.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, no, sounds a little bit different, but this is over the phone
on the show. Yeah.
All right, whatever. Oh, I guess we asked about him on the show, but he did do it to a birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, 98.5. Happy birthday to you.
Am I the only one in here with an erection?
No, it's
All right, so there you go. The guy from Machine
I love you.
will sing for you. He wants you to do karaoke with him.
And I'm a good singer.
All right, so we decided to find out if we could what it would be like to be doing karaoke with the guy from Machine. So we've devised a game. Yeah. John, you and I are going to face each other.
Okay.
Don't worry, you will not be forced to deduce anything.
Okay. I feel like we could do one now and the others on the other side. Maybe one to lead us into
a little taste.
All right, so explain how the game is going to be played.
Okay, the first one is going to be very difficult because he only hums the song for a few seconds. So just based on him humming the song, will you be able to identify the song?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so he's
artist
going to,
and title.
So guy from Machine hums a song. You and I have to get artist and title.
Okay.
And then the full karaoke version will be released.
Right. And if you can't identify it after the hum, we have him essentially just giving us some dry lyrics, and you'll be able to have a second shot at it that way. So here we go. This is Guy from Machine humming a song. What song is this?
Jesus.
Play it again.
Listen again.
That's him after the Entenmann's. All right.
Spicy.
It almost
And I'm a good
sounds like...
singer.
Oh, whoops! That shouldn't be on. He's got. All right. What do you think? You've heard it.
That's obviously the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, Gordon Lightfoot.
No, it's not.
I don't know.
Hello.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Artist and title based on these lyrics. You're going to be able to get the song title right away. Artist might take an extra second. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The first song, it goes, hot-blooded, check it and see. You know, you've never heard that song before?
Honey.
Oh,
Honey. I probably have. Probably on the highway when I was when the state troopers pulled me over.
All right. Okay, so just sing it just how I sing it, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm hot-blooded, check it and see. Got a fever of 103. Come on, baby, Come on, baby, do you do more than dance?
Oh.
I'm hot-blooded.
Okay, I think I got this.
Okay.
Okay, so that is, of course, Hot-Blooded by John
Foreigner.
Very
yes.
good.
All right.
So, just based on Nick's singing of the song, Guy from Machine took a shot at it.
Okay.
And it ended up sounding like this.
Honey, oh, honey, oh. What's going on again? Well, I'm hot-blooded, got from machine. I'm the machine. Got a fever, 103. Boom, boom. Come on, baby, do the do. Many dance. Bears. I'm hot-blooded. I'm hot-blooded. Come see me. Damn, I got something in my throat, I think. From last night. You know what I mean.
How is he thriving as a gay man where he's living? Like, what's going on?
Rural Massachusetts?
The guy from Machine is a mystery wrapped in a riddle. Like, you're telling me he lives in, like, legitimate, like, farm country. Like, legitimate, like, where there are farms and cattle and stuff out there. And then he works in Revere. He's never heard Hot Blooded by Foreigner. Like, I've never seen a tactile Foreigner album in my entire life. And I know Hot Blooded is by Foreigner. I've never downloaded, played one of their songs streaming, looked them up on YouTube. Never. This man's existence is you have to admit, it's pretty interesting.
It is odd, to say the least.
Because you would think that he lived, maybe he couldn't afford to live in the city, but you would think that he would live like in like sort of a urban-y outpost, because wouldn't that be more like, he's a single gay guy, you would think that would be like more fun.
No.
Right, well, okay.
Yeah.
But he's got like a farmland house.
You want to know why?
I like scruff.
I know what you like,
That's
but
where you go to farmland.
I mean,
for.
but seriously,
Right.
like you meet someone in Revere and you like want to take him home and you're like, get in, honey. It's only 3 hours.
No.
Which is my guy from Machine impression, by the way. There you go.
All right, so we have 3 more
Come
to
with
get
me, it's
to.
only 3 hours.
You guys essentially tied on that first one, so we'll see.
Well, yeah,
how you,
I think
we'll
once
see how you
you-
do on songs 2, 3, and 4.
Once he sang Hot Blooded, I think we were pretty much going to get that.
The first song, it goes, hot blooded.
Yeah, right there is when I knew. I had a inkling that was Hot Blooded by Foreigner.
Yeah.
But the idea he had never heard it.
That's odd. I don't know how I didn't get that.
He's not even humming it right.
How did I not
That's
get
not
that?
even what he's humming is not Hot Blooded.
No, it's really.
No, it's not Hot Blooded at all.
We're actually
Nick, was it frustrating getting the audio? Was it hard to get him in line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, we're ahead of Guy from Machine in this contest.
To corral him was very difficult.
We have 1, he has 0.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment with more.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps. They'll be right back on the Sports Hub.
All right, Tuesdays is TRT day for the T. We call it TRT squared. has traveled all around the state of Massachusetts to track down Guy from Machine as our 6-man contest is coming to an end. We heard from his opponent, Adolfo, earlier in the week, and we're playing a game between Wallach and I if we can identify songs based on him humming them. And it's been, so far, I don't know how we didn't get this, somehow this. We were supposed to know turns into
The
this.
first song, it goes, hot-blooded, check it and see.
What's going on again? Well, I'm hot-blooded, got from machine. I'm the machine. Got a fever, 103. Boom, boom. Come on, baby, do the do. Many dance. Bears. I'm hot-blooded. I'm hot-blooded. Come see me. Damn, I got something in my throat, I think. From last night. You know what I mean.
It's funny. Adam was pontificating during the break about his theories on why the Guy from Machine lives where he lives. All I know is he couldn't live further from than he does from Revere. Whatever. I won't say like what town he lives in. Maybe he don't want that, as if like he'd be bombarded. But let's just put it this way: geographically, like it's not in. It wouldn't be considered commuting distance.
Theoretically, he could live in New Hampshire and have an easier time getting to Lynn.
Theoretically,
to where he where he lives in Massachusetts.
The more you get into rural, wooded New England, the more likelihood you'll see
bears.
Right. So
Yes.
maybe that's,
Well, yeah, Adam had this whole thing about it. His life slowing down. He had many, many theories.
No.
And then I was like, I don't get it. I still don't get it, and I think I frustrated Adam.
No, it's okay. I'm just fascinated. I'm as fascinated as you are, Bob.
Well, I am. He's like a single
fascinating
gay
man,
guy,
yeah.
and he's a waiter. He's a waiter at this place in Revere, and he commutes 700 miles. I mean, it must take him 2
long time,
hours
yeah.
to get there. It's a whole thing, but all right. So but let's not forget why we're here.
We have 3 more songs to get to. So again, some humming going on in this one. And gentlemen, see if you can identify what song he will be performing next based on this.
Is that him trying to do Smoke on the Water?
No, that is incorrect.
I need to hear that again. I'm sorry.
See, I thought he screwed it up there. Take a guess.
Might as well be Air Supply, Lost in Love.
Is it Air Supply's Lost in Love?
Oh, darn it, I've messed up again.
All right, let's see how stupid John and I are for not getting this.
Well, on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. Taking my time. I don't know where. Goodbye to Rosie, the queen of Corona. Seeing me and Jeholia down by the schoolyard. Seeing me and Hula down by the schoolyard.
That is, of course,
Paul Simon.
That's me and Julio down by the schoolyard, but that is just the a cappella Pet Sounds version. What does it sound like when it's completely done?
Sweet bird. Well, on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. Jerry, taking my time. I don't know where. Goodbye to Rosie, the queen of Corona. Seeing me and Jolie down by the schoolyard. Hello. Seeing me and Hula down by the schoolyard. I'm a good singer.
It's hard to do that.
It's very good. So, Nick, did he know that song? No. Okay.
No.
What does he do in that car? He's in the car 4 hours a day.
Big podcast guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's devouring the newest Rogan. Like, what the hell's he doing in the car?
Fred and I are still ahead.
Yes.
How did we not get that, Jonathan? I mean, the melody was there.
Oh, God.
I still don't hear it. That's not the song. That's not even like the verse.
The same universe as the song.
No, I'm calling BS on this.
These were tough. I feel out of the next two, you guys will both get them both. It'll just be a matter of who gets them first. So once again, Guy from Machine in our six-man competition, his contribution is his amazing voice and his song stylings. What song are they humming here?
Well, it's a heavy metal song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Master of Puppets? Is the one we talked about?
Whoa!
I only know that because we talked about it, but okay. Yeah. The end. Okay, he's not doing it good. It's the end. Listen to it again. Listen to it again. Listen to the end. That's the part.
That's the part you got.
That's the part I got.
And you certainly would have got it based on this when you hear actual lyrics.
End of passion play, crumbling away. I'm the source of self-construction. Self-destruction. Veins are pumped with fear, sucking all the clear. Oh, sucking dark is clear. Darkness is clear. Sucking darkness is clear.
Obviously.
They don't make
and
a
you
lot
can
of
tell
sense.
this song he knew. Obviously.
Yeah.
This one he's very familiar with.
He's more of a new wave of British heavy metal guy, but
I would venture to guess he knows nothing about music of any genre. We've gone through three of them. He
hosts karaoke, so it stands to reason he's got to know something.
like I knew he wouldn't know Master of Puppets when we were originally talking about doing this, but like how do you not know Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard or Hot Blooded? All right. Let's hear what you have done with this song.
Master of Puppets?
Yes.
Okay.
End of passion play, crumbling away. I'm the source of self-destruction. I'm the machine. Veins are pumped with fear, sucking all the clear, leaving on your destruction. Action. Taste and you will see. More is all you need. Dedicated to I'm killing you. Double Humpty Dumpty Bear. Come crawling faster.
You look like he's on the floor like a doll.
Obey your master.
Maybe he likes the floor.
My light burns faster.
Maybe be the big old bottom.
Obey your master. Master!
Hot daddy in a tight skirt.
There got to be Metallica cover band with a flamboyantly gay lead singer.
Pack it out. That'd be great.
Metallica?
Yeah, like I was trying to think of like Metalligala. Like
Oh,
something
that's good.
like
Yeah,
I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. But if you had a
Met Gala Metallica? There's got to be something.
there's got to be something there. So yes, there is something about the lyrics that when they're sung by a very flamboyantly gay man that
So
hit
Fred
harder.
Fred is up 1-0 against Wallach. Wallach, your chance to tie the game here.
My last chance. This is it.
Yeah,
All right.
and I don't want to give anything away. I just want to see if you can get it based off the humming alone. Here we go.
Okay, we'll hum the first two lines.
Okay.
All right, it's a hard song because he does that growl thing again. Okay, it's not. I don't know why he has such little sense of melody.
Okay, so
or song structure.
This is kind of like a call and repeat here. So Nick is doing the.
No, I get what's happening, but what's interesting.
No. But Nick is doing the first line, and then you'll hear Guy from Machine hum the second line of the song.
Okay, we'll hum the first two lines.
Okay.
Actually, this guy from Machine on both.
Yeah.
It's the first two lines.
So, like, when they handed him the recorder, like in kindergarten, did he just, what did he do with it? He just threw it across the room.
Broke it into pieces.
It's just like, no, I'm not going to ever learn how melody works or song.
Okay, we'll hum the first two lines.
Okay.
Is it Bach or something?
Wallach has a guess.
Jump by Van Halen.
It's a song that has been played on this radio station every year at a certain time and got played twice this year on two different shows. Twice this past year, I should say, in 2024 on two different shows.
That's a sports hint?
Nope, it is a holiday/special day song. I think it's.
Oh, is it? We talk? Is it the Monster Mash?
He did the mash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash.
Oh, he knows this.
Mash.
And go. Ow. Okay.
Did he know the Monster Mash, Nick? Okay,
That one he knew.
That one he listens. Well, now we know he listens to Dr. Demento. John, you could be good friends with him.
Yeah.
Old tapes of Dr. Demento.
I did Monster Mash for years. This past year, Nick did it, and Tim McCone did the most infamous version ever.
Yeah.
What does the guy from Machine version of the Monster Mash sound like?
Machine. Hippity hop. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. The monster mash. And it was a great rock smash. He did the mash. Have you seen him? It got on in the flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. Dorothy, click your heels. Click. He's a wolf. He looks like he's hungry. Okay. I'm sorry. He did the mash. That was the gay version.
Well, they have all been gay versions.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct.
I like how you found the wolf stuff to get in there. It's Guy from Machine is apparently.
Fred, hello.
Hello, Guy from Machine. You've talked about everything under the sun.
He's a wolf.
All right. Well, look.
Wow. That is Guy from Machine's contribution and final contribution, the final competition, as it were, in the six-man
Now,
brackets.
that was a stronger bit than Adolfo's, but in fairness to meet the Guy from Machine in a parking lot. And so there is that. So you could look at it one of two ways. You could look at the one thing is that the Guy from Machine was the stronger bit and go by that. Or you could go by Adolfo's basically doing it on his own.
No.
That's true. Well, Guy from Machine, you're going to be absolutely crushed if you don't win this thing. I got to tell you. Still no. The thing is this, is that say one of them wins, it doesn't matter at all because I don't even think we'll inform them. Adolfo listens to the show.
That's a good point.
Oh,
Well,
no.
Has any loser been? I haven't spoken with Robbie because that probably wouldn't go well.
No.
Sarah's been emailing, but I don't think she received any official notification.
No, the thing is this, is that there will be no congratulatory phone call on the air tomorrow. This is going to just simply be announced and end. So, look, there's a lot of pressure. So, Adam, where can people vote on this and when?
Toucher and Hardy on Instagram. Nick says that the poll is just live, so you can vote in the finals of the sixth-man bracket. Toucher and Hardy on Instagram. Guy from Machine versus Adolfo.
6 is a very seductive number.
Wow.
Well, I got to thank Nick and Hardy. That sounded
Hardy, that
very,
was
very, very labor-intensive, and it was very good.
Thank you, Guy from Machine.
But more you two did way more than the Guy from Machine. He just had to go to a coffee house and had Nick show up to work for no reason. Well, everyone loves Adolfo and everyone loves Guy from Machine, so we will
I love you.
I love you too, Guy from Machine, and everyone does. You'll be able to vote. If you can't now, you will be in a second. And Instagram at Toucher and Hardy. That fine Instagram. All right, so we'll be back. The Beast has been released. We'll have that.
Tweet bird.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
I know the Beast came out. And he goes, yeah, it's cool now. It's interactive. And I went, what do you mean? And he goes, it's interactive. I said, did you have to put a password in? He goes, no. I go, child, that's not the Beast. Oh. The Beast requires a password, and the Beast is 530 some odd pages long.
And it costs $1,000.
It costs nothing. It comes with your athletic. You just have to. It's so long.
$1,000.
It's a PDF version that's printable. 500. It's very almost cruel to Adam. 536 pages.
Please don't print it.
I'm not going to print out 536 pages.
I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to the audience. Thank you.
Somewhere that paper company that's all over those Red Sox telecasts is very upset at you.
All right, forest will be killed.
Now, John, how much do you know about Will Campbell? Just what do you know off the top of your head? Don't look down.
Okay, LSU offensive tackle, top-rated tackle in the draft.
Okay,
short arms.
Okay,
really short arms.
Well, let me inform you. William, or Will in quotation, Campbell, the oldest of two boys, was born and raised in Monroe, in northern Louisiana, with his parents, Brian and Holly, who are both Monroe natives. Brian, also known as Bull, an agricultural farmer who sells seed and chemicals, played offensive line at Nellville and collegiately at East Tennessee State, now known as East Texas A&M. Holly works for the family's sporting goods store, H. Mickle Sports, which opened in 1937. And has been in the family for 4 generations. Growing up, Will was a multi-sport athlete and played soccer and baseball throughout childhood. But he started to gravitate towards football before kindergarten. So how did he...
but Fred...
How do you gravitate to something before kindergarten? I started
what did you gravitate toward in your preschool years, Fred?
I can tell you that. I mean, I don't know, like holding a spoon. I
don't know.
Yeah, like learning how to like hold a pencil. I don't understand. It started. They held off. They didn't want to push him, so they held off till kindergarten to put him fully into football. That is interesting to me. He started gravitating to football before kindergarten, initially as a fullback and defensive end in youth football. Before his size pushed him to the offensive line. A birth certificate was needed on several occasions to prove his age. Aside from football, hunting was Campbell's primary activity. You like that, Adam? Growing up, and he took down his first deer at age 5. He has multiple deer heads mounted on his childhood bedroom walls, which is also an aphrodisiac. Can you imagine if you bring a girl you meet in Boston home and you have in your bedroom, not in your home so much, is in your bedroom, like you bang her at night and like in the dark, and then in the morning she wakes up and there's like 8 deer heads
mounted game trophies
mounted like above the bed.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of weird.
You're the best.
No, I think it's more of a oh boy.
Yeah.
He was only a 4-star recruit. Campbell was the 4th-ranked offensive tackle in 2022 recruiting class and the number 2 recruit in Louisiana.
Okay. Well, you would have been higher, but he gravitated late. I mean, most of these kids are gravitating to football at age 2, and he was doing it just as, at pre-K.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, so he played for Brian Kelly and freshman All-American, All-SEC as a freshman, first team All-SEC as a sophomore. He was a team captain as a sophomore, consensus All-American, first team All-SEC, and there you go. He missed the bowl game, though. He opted out of the bowl game, as he does for draft. His weaknesses, of course, average arm length. He doesn't have much margin for error, as his punch extension is mistimed.
Oh, that's a problem with short arms, Fred.
He has slight stiffness in his lower half. It shows up when he's reacting to inside moves. He's routinely able to recover after being driven backward, but NFL leverage power will bring new challenges. His penalties increased from 1 as a freshman to 5 as a sophomore to 9 as a senior, including 7 false start flags in his final season.
Oh, boy.
Did he play more, though? I mean...
left tackle only, and I think that would be more of a quarterback problem, actually, or a center problem. Left tackle only in college and doesn't offer experience on the right side or interior, that's interesting, is that he only played left tackle. So this theoretical move to being an all-star, like all-pro guard, while like physically and athletically he's there, just let it be known he's not done that. Now, there is history of guys making the transition very successfully.
Patriots just had a guy, Caden Wallace, who was exclusively a right tackle, I believe, at Penn State. They tried him at left tackle. It did not work, and he got hurt immediately. I think they tried him at guard, too, if I remember right, and that didn't go well.
Right nose tackle.
Yeah, and so the grade that is on him for the Beast, and believe me, this is not easy to read. I'm old, and I don't have glasses, and this is... As you can see, Hardy, I mean, exceptionally little type. He is the number 6 overall prospect.
Yep.
But the Beast is really something. 523 pages, and it breaks down not everybody that he's got listed, but every like decent player has got a biography like that. He's doing it to do it now. Like a lot of this stuff is to be cute.
Yeah.
Like that his parents. Like his mom worked at a sporting goods store.
And what was the brother in the chemical business, or was that
his father was in the agricultural chemical business? Yes, John.
Looking at the quarterbacks real quick. I mean, Cam Ward obviously is going to go number 1 to Tennessee. This thing has Ward as number 13 overall. Shedeur Sanders is number 34. And those are the 2 top quarterbacks. Jackson Dart is 49. So he is not high on any of these quarterbacks, all things considered.
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders, just weaknesses if you're interested. Not a quick twitch passer, and the ball doesn't explode off his hand. Average arm strength, as you know. Mediocre size, as you know. Needlessly backpedals, as you know. Holds ball excessively long, as you know. Ability to buy time in the pocket will become more difficult, as you know. Gets ultra. This is now. These are things I don't know. Gets ultra conservative in timing of play designs. Gets away from him at times. Wish he put more anticipatory throws on tape. Feasted on quick throws, which inflated completion percentage. 28.3 of his completions in 2024 were screens. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if there wasn't all that hype around Colorado if Shedeur Sanders would be this big a prospect. Certainly we wouldn't be as interested in him at all.
I think it was Bird who told us last week, or somebody we had on that told us within the last week, that if Shedeur Sanders, his name was Joe Smith, he'd be taken in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, because he really just played at Jackson State and then on a very mediocre to bad Colorado team.
13-11 as a starter at Colorado.
Yeah, which isn't his fault. But you know, when you're getting sacked all the time and 28.3% of your completions are screens, I mean, that's you running a lot of screens, I'd imagine. But also, like, I don't know how much of that, like, you're getting rid of the ball quickly. Like, you know, he holds on to the ball a lot.
And if he goes to a bad team with a bad offensive line, you have to wonder mentally if he can get past what happened to him in Colorado to perform at the next level.
And he's not 21 or 22 years old either. So he's a man. You know, he is what he is. He's a man. He's not grown anymore, and he is what he is.
One other quick thing about the Beast, Dane Brugler, who we're going to have on next week, has Walker, the guy that Bird is so high on, is the 5th overall prospect. Mason Graham, the Michigan defensive tackle, at number 4.
Interesting.
So, yeah, obviously Hunter is 1, Abdul Carter
and
is
Genty
2.
is
3.
Genty is 3.
Yeah.
All right. I wouldn't be upset if the Patriots took Genty. I think that would be a lot of fun.
that would be fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And look, you know, you catch the ball out of the backfield, 3 down back. That's nothing wrong with that. All right, look, when we come back, Hardy is watching Gary Player. He's been marveling at his karate kicks and everything else. We'll talk to someone who's either at or going to the Masters.
I believe he's there.
Okay. No. And he's, you know, Hardy's got his dumb Masters hat on and everything else.
That's not even necessary.
All right, so we'll indulge his dumb fixation in just a moment.
Is it a dumb one? It's not even a dumb one.
Stay tuned for more.
Celtics now have 2 games left in their regular season. They will host Charlotte tomorrow night. Luka Doncic made his return to Dallas last night. He scored 45 points to lead the Lakers to a 112-97 win over the Mavericks.
Like I said, post-game interview, after that video, I was like, there's no way I'm playing this game, It was so many emotions, and, I just went out there and just played basketball.
Turning to baseball, Red Sox lost to Toronto for a third straight night, 2-1 in 11 innings. Bo Bichette's sacrifice fly was the difference. Sox managed a total of 4 hits. Walker Buehler starts against the Jays for the Red Sox this afternoon. Bruins play Chicago at TD Garden tonight. Bruins have 3 games left. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bert Breer reported earlier this morning the Patriots will host Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter on Monday, and the first round of the Masters has begun at Augusta National. Zach Johnson and Mike Weir among 6 men with the early lead at 1 under par. Scotty Scheffler is your defending champion. He will tee off at 10:15. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Albrecht Auto Group, Zoe's Auto Dealer. Get respect at Albrecht. Now 8 locations, including the all-new Subaru of Wakefield. Thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles, all at the right price at albrechtauto.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Hey, if your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, The Sports Hub.
All right, we're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us, and I can only imagine it's by the thousands right now. Or maybe no one's watching because everyone's so busy watching the Masters.
Yeah.
It's begun, correct?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you can watch us on YouTube. Please subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub. That's what the Beasley Media Company needs to compete in this multi-media environment. So Hardy, and it's funny because, with Hardy, he's always babbling about golf, and then you're like, we were talking after the show about guests for today, and then I realized we normally have a guest on the Thursday that the Masters begins.
Right.
So even though this will be more excruciating for Hardy's presence,
And no, it's going to be fine. And this the first guy I thought of, the guy I want to talk to more than anyone, the guy who was kind enough to sit down with me a couple of times at the Deutsche Bank. I'm sure he remembers it well.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, we were going to have Brian Schneekloff, our head of sales, who happens to be down at Augusta.
Yeah.
At the Masters entertaining clients. But the thing is this, the hook is this, he don't care about golf at all. So he's down at Augusta whining and dining, guys. He's in a house. He's got a corporate card. He's eating the pimento cheese sandwiches. He's having the time of his life. He's sniffing the whatever azalea or whatever the hell grows there. He's doing all that, and he couldn't care less. And while Hardy's here, watching it on his computer while he's got to still try to do a show. But nonetheless.
It's the only way you can watch this.
Jason Sobel, is this how they introduce you on CBS Sports, where you are a golf analyst?
This is exactly how they introduced me. First of all, Merry Christmas, guys. Secondly, how come it's always the head of sales guy who gets to go to Augusta?
Because they're entertaining clients. I mean, because that's
whatever. Entertain clients somewhere else. This is a special ticket. Just go only to golf fans.
Thank you. That's what I say. I got invited 1 year, 3 days before they had one ticket that became available. They said, hey, dummy, if you can get down here Friday night, you can stay in this one room of the house, and then you can go to the tournament on Saturday, but then you have to leave because someone else needs that bet on Saturday night. And you know what, Jason?
Sure.
I said, yes, please, and thank you, and I got my ass down there. The one time.
There you go.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's the way to do it.
So Hardy, for some odd reason, insists on doing a show on Sunday mornings at 7:30 about golf. Not that it's about golf, but that it's 7:30 in the morning, and he's gainfully employed in this medium, but he still does it. It's strange, but it's charming in a way. But so I happen to be taking my son to some athletic event too early in the morning on a Sunday. And Hardy had just come back from the Masters, and he was recounting his time there. And I was telling him off air this morning, it was like good. like, because he was so, when someone's so, because Hardy can talk on the radio, so that's a given. But when someone is that enthused about something and they're like recounting it, you can't help but get caught up in it. But Hardy is usually so dry and bitter that it was almost odd to hear him so taken.
Happy.
Jason, does this still happen to you, even though you're an
Yes.
old hand at it?
Good question.
Does the Masters? Do you still get out there and get all weepy and nostalgic?
Yes. In fact, I'm so passionate about golf, about the Masters, about Augusta National that I could be out at Amen Corner walking around eating a pimento cheese sandwich right now. Instead, I'm sitting here talking to you guys on the phone because I want to tell everyone how passionate I am about it. I couldn't tell anyone because you can't bring your phone out on the golf course. So instead of sitting there by myself and taking it all in, personally, I just want to tell the masses, all dozens that are listening right now, just how great it is.
All right. Well, there could be 100. That's not fair. You add up a couple dozens, you get into hundreds.
But Jason, they really do, and this was the thing that I thought was cool about it. They kind of the people working outside the gates and stuff. They know, they can see it in your eyes when you're walking up. You are a 5-year-old going to Disneyland for the first time, and they lean into that. They play up to it. They are either instructed to or just know inherently help make this the greatest day of this person's life, because that's kind of what it feels like when you're walking in for the first time.
So here's what I figured out, and this is something I told a colleague as we were walking around the grounds yesterday, that you'll never be in another place, anywhere, where every single person is exactly where they want to be. I don't care if it's Disneyland. Half the people at Disneyland, you got crying babies, you got parents who are upset, and they're tired, and most of the people don't want to be there once they get there. I don't know, like a family wedding, half the people, your cousins, sisters, friends getting married, you got to go. You're like, man, I really wanted to watch the game. You're not happy about being there. You walk around Augusta National during Masters Week, and there's not a single person that's sitting there going, man, I really wish I was back in the cubicle in the office getting some work done right now. No, everyone is exactly where they want to be, and it just forms this different sense of camaraderie, I guess is a good word for it. Just everyone there. I mean, you can
fellowship.
Walk past, I mean, a frat bro walks past an 80-year-old woman, and they kind of look at each other and nod, go, "Yep, we're both doing the same thing. We love being here right now."
That's right.
It's like when they stormed the Capitol.
Yeah, exactly. Jason, who have you
Everyone's on the same page.
Okay, so
they're having the time of their lives.
The same Schneekloth guy we were going to talk to yesterday, a few years ago, he had a great story of walking around and he was watching Dustin Johnson. So lo and behold, sitting on one of the sides of the hills is Wayne Gretzky, who's watching his son-in-law there. And when you walk around Augusta, you realize how hilly it is, much more so than it appears on TV. He doesn't really bother him, but he's standing there kind of talking to him. His wife, Janet Gretzky, comes up and says, "Come on, we got to get moving." And Wayne kind of stumbles as he gets up a little bit. And she's like, "What's the matter with you? What? You can't even walk right. You can't even stand up right." And Brian's like, "Here's Wayne. Here's a great one, getting his balls busted like everybody else." So have you seen celebrities like that walking around taking in the Masters? Because there really isn't too many private places for people to hide out and watch, like hospitality tents.
I've seen celebrities walking around, yes. I went to a couple parties last night. I can tell you that I was 4 feet away from a stage where one of my favorite artists was playing, which was unbelievable. At one point, we were standing under the famous tree, the famous oak tree behind the clubhouse yesterday, and I was with a colleague, and I said, if you drew a circle within 50 yards of us in every direction, we would have every power broker in the game. I mean, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan was there, and Seth Waugh, who, of course, used to run the Deutsche Bank, then was the head of the PGA of America for a while. There were people from LIV there. There were people from the DP World Tour there. Of course, people from Augusta National. I'm like, if we wanted to get some things done in the game right now, we could just throw a little tent over exactly this spot under the tree, and everybody in the world of golf who matters, who makes decisions, is here right now.
Okay, so getting to the tournament and the people playing in it, in all seriousness, so to the mass audience, McIlroy's the story.
Scheffler, McIlroy.
Well, McIlroy is the story. From a casual sports fan, McElroy's the story because this is what is eluding him.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
is the
I can
career
tell you,
Grand
you're
Slam.
too close to see.
I'm too close to Rory and Jason and all the other power players.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
McElroy is the only thing that John and I know.
He's the underdog story. He's looking for the career Grand Slam. He's gone 14 years without a major.
He has
11
that
years
famous.
without a major.
He put one in the woods famously to get himself out of contention.
All right, so ask your question to Jason so we can get back out on the course. What's your question for him?
All right, my question is McElroy's chances this week.
6.5 to 1. That's how we answer those in betting circles these days. We have actual numbers instead of just saying, I like his chance, but I do like his chances this week. Look, the hardest part for me from a betting perspective, and I'll circle back to Rory in a second, this week is the process of elimination. On regular weeks, I can sit there and look at the list of names near the top and say, okay, he's not in great form, I'll cross his name off. And this guy doesn't have great course history, I'll cross him off. And this guy's trying a new putter this week, and usually that doesn't work, I'll cross him off. The process of elimination, I think, at the top of the board is very difficult this week. I mean, you look at Scotty Scheffler, who's the number one player in the game, and of course has won 2 of the last 3 Masters tournaments. John Rahm I know he's playing on LIV, and we've kind of forgotten about him, but he's still a top 5 talent in the world. Xander Schauffele has shown that he's come back and he can win majors, and he's back from that injury from earlier this year. Then you get to Rory, and you say, can Rory win? Yeah, absolutely Rory can win. He's played the best golf of anybody over the first 3 months of this year. He's the only player with multiple wins on the PGA Tour so far. He's got a lot of scar tissue at this place. Yeah. He's now 0 for 16 in trying to claim that white whale, that elusive green jacket that he's been trying to get and gotten so close to for so many years. I do like what I heard from Rory in his press conference the other day, which is, I'm not going to do anything different. And that's different in the respect that he's tried to do something different pretty much every year. I mean, this is a player who's played as much as he could in the weeks leading up to the Masters. He's taken time off leading up to the Masters. He's come here for multiple scouting trips. He's shown up on Monday morning without scouting it at all. He's taken the change out of his left pocket, put it in his right pocket. He's literally done everything to try to trick himself into thinking that some different sort of strategy is going to work. And he showed up this year and said, I'm not doing any of that. So I'm not trying to trick myself. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to play golf, and I'm going to play my best golf. And look, I think that it's a different Rory McIlroy in that he's talked about being a little more conservative on the golf course, sort of following the strategies of Scotty Scheffler. He watches Scotty and says, boy, I don't know that he's necessarily better than me, but he's winning more than me. Why is that? And he's kind of studied Scotty a little bit. So I do think he has a great chance this week. It would absolutely be the best story for us to have on Sunday evening is Rory breaking not only that career-long Masters drought, but an 11-year major list streak, which would give him the career Grand Slam. It would be a great story.
Okay. Some of the other things that I thought were interesting were some of the props, and one that I like, Jason, I want to know because I already bet it, so it's too late. The playoff. Will there be a playoff, essentially, to decide the winner? And I just base that on what I see for the Super Bowl every year. Will there be an overtime? That you might get 10 to 1 on that. 3.5 to 1, plus 350 on there being a playoff. What do you think of that?
Some of the props out there. Will there be a hole-in-one? Will there be a playoff? They're fun to bet. I don't like going too deep into those because I'd rather use all the research and knowledge that I've gained to bet on things that are probably more actionable. I don't know. Will there be a playoff? I don't know. Well, you tell me 4 days from now, is Rory McIlroy going to make that 6-foot putt on 18 or not? You could be, 99.9% of the tournament could be over, and you still don't know whether there's going to be a playoff or not. So I think that one's tough to predict and tough to look at. Doesn't mean it's not going to hit. There's a very good chance of it hitting. Like I said, there's a lot of really good players playing great golf. There's a good chance 2 of them are tied at the top after 72 holes. That said, I'd rather look into the prop bets that have some sort of research-based actionable status behind it.
Yeah, top 5 finishes, stuff like that. How about this?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do drafts and stuff. What's the one name you hear a lot or you hear people taking that is an outlier, somewhat of a long shot, that you say you're wasting your money on this guy? Because I've done a couple of these, and There are a couple of fun names out there. Will Zalatoris, who I like as a player, and I think he's a fine player. I wouldn't bet a cent on Will Zalatoris winning the Masters this week. That would be my example.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. So, as I said before, the process of elimination for me was really difficult this week. There's not a whole lot of guys near the top that I go, nope, scratch him off the list. Minwoo Lee won 2 weeks ago in Houston. Minwoo Lee is a fantastic talent. He's a popular dude. He plays to the crowds. He likes being famous. He likes being popular. And it shows. And the PGA Tour needs more players like him. He won on a very driver-heavy golf course. Basically, the further you hit it, the better off your chances are going to be. His iron game is not probably as good as he'd like it to be. Augusta National is known as a second-shot golf course, so essentially your tee shot just sets up the second shot, but you've got to hit a good iron shot into the green to give yourself a chance. I would say that a lot of people are playing Minwoo based on the fact that he just won 2 weeks ago and he's hot and coming in with some momentum, but I don't love him here this week.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, Jason, get out there on the course. Jason Sobel for CBS Sports, The Athletic. Thank you so much for the time, sir.
Jason, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we appreciate it. All right, there you go.
Love Jason.
Yeah, when you said to name some celebrities you saw, I mean, he came out of the gate hot.
Oh, my God.
Jay
Monahan.
I was next
Seth
to
Law.
I was next to an artist I love 4 feet away, and they didn't mention who that artist
Well,
was.
because it was Hootie and the Blowfish, because it was Tiger's party.
Oh,
it was. It was Hootie and the Blowfish. There's a 1,000% chance, and you can't just say it because then people will be so bitter at you for having done that.
And it was probably a private party. Maybe he wasn't allowed to say, John.
Yeah, I mean there are NDAs that are signed once you get to the fish, but that it was pretty funny when Hardy's like, "Did you see any celebrities?" I saw Wayne Gretzky and his wife was bitching at him, and he's like, "Yeah, like all these dudes that work in golf."
Yeah,
and you're like, "Yeah, figured they'd be at the Masters."
Shows what you know. It's not a PGA Tour event, so the fact that
I know the live
there,
dudes are the fact that Jay Monahan was there.
makes him a celebrity at that event.
And if you put a tent around this,
yeah.
Like 1% of the population would be enthralled, which is more than I can say for this room. You know,
you're not gonna ruin any aspect of this weekend for me. Go ahead.
No, you have to admit that I wasn't gonna bust the guy's balls. He's a nice guy and he came on the show and he was a good guest. It was funny when he did that. I mean, when you didn't mean that. When you said, "Have you seen celebrities?"
I was fine with his answer.
You meant I know you were fine with it because you know who those people were.
I think we all should.
There's Phil McGillicuddy. You know, he is the head of accounts receivable for the Citibank corporate headquarters. But
I think I saw Jerry Rice walking around the year I was there. But I'm not sure. I didn't go up to him and say, "Are you Jerry Rice?"
Steve Williams, the Titleist account rep.
That's not his name.
Oh,
It's on the local rep or the regional?
Well, I would think it would be national if it was at the Masters.
We have Fran Walker. You know, she's HR director for the Adams Group, which is a small investment firm located in Bristol, Connecticut.
Yep. Charlotte Williams,
Oh, shut up, Wallach. You guys are both dicks.
All right, very good. We shall be back with your emails and everything else in just a moment.
More. The Sports Hub.
albino looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. If you'd like to email us, go to 985thesportshub.com, and all that information's there. If you want to follow us on Instagram, especially to vote in the finals of the six-man contest, Guy from Machine versus Adolfo, you can do so at the @Toucher and Hardy Instagram page. I've shared it at Fred Toucher on Instagram. We're slowly but surely, we're climbing up that mountain. We're running up that hill, as they once sang. I'll start with this. Tyler says, Pat McAfee Arena Show. Now, this is interesting because Bert was telling me about this. Fred, I'm not sure if you've seen anything, but McAfee had his live arena show last night. Looks like it was incredibly cringeworthy and was just a bunch of random celebrities and dumb stuff like sumo wrestling. I can't believe that many people paid money to see something like that. I didn't know he was having it. We'll explore it tomorrow on the show. I heard that he tried to do a monologue, and just that's a really bad idea. Like, I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable doing a monologue in front of a humorous monologue, like of written jokes in front of an arena full of people. And he says, I can't believe an arena full of people came. If you had to guess, not based on like bro-y stuff, but based on what's going on in sports and who's in his universe, where the event was held, where would you guess? They sold it out. It's the most likely place he'd sell it out, based on who's in his orbit of guests and the interest in that city of said guest.
Okay. Okay. All right. Hold on. Because initially I was going to say at Dave and Buster's.
No, yeah, because you're going to think of like some like dumb city. It's like it's not a bad city. It's just they would be have the most interest on who. Let's just say
Okay,
they were
I know what you're
supremely disappointed. The audience had to be supremely disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You know.
Milwaukee?
No.
Not Milwaukee.
No.
So you're saying he did play into the city that is most interested in him right now, or he did not go there?
He went. No, the reason that the place probably sold out is they thought it might be featuring one of his guests.
Oh, all right. I got it.
Oh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So I have so Bert said he had to watch like 20 minutes of it because the idea was he had to know if Aaron Rodgers came out. So apparently there was this anticipation that the reason he's famous, Aaron Rodgers, which is the reason that he is famous, the Aaron Rodgers interviews, that he was going to produce Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers was announcing that he was coming to the Steelers.
Right.
As he makes a lot of announcements on the Pat McAfee show. Like, like that Jimmy Kimmel's on the Epstein list, which isn't true. And so he goes and he does that. But he did not show up. I guess there was hijinks like sumo wrestling and him doing a comedic monologue, which we will make fun of a lot tomorrow, I have a feeling. But because just don't even attempt it. It's disrespectful to comedians. It really is, which I believe is the hardest art. And if you don't believe that, go up in front of even 20 people seated where you have to hold their attention based on non-written down material, even like at your own place of business. Because I just did a thing in front of a room full of people. I talked to them. It's like nerve-wracking for me. But a paid audience that you have to make laugh, that are there for you to make them laugh, and it's only your voice and what you're saying that can do it. I think the most difficult art there is to captivate that crowd, and just shows a lack of respect for the genre. And I don't know how he can even do a podcast anymore. All right, what else you got?
Okay, here's Chopper saying I'm picking Billy Horschel this weekend so I can yell, "Come on, Billy Ho," at TV all weekend. That'll drive my wife bananas. That'd be fun, be cute, but I don't know if that's a smart bet. I've bet Billy Horschel so many times. He's not,
we all have.
I'm preaching to the choir here.
I mean, we all have. I mean, it's at this point, it's almost like it's almost just like a character of itself. We insist upon it so much.
There are many emails from Blind Scott in the North End that cannot be read. But I have to say, just in terms of volume today, not as many as I thought.
No, it was a packed show, Bert Breer, and then all the guy from Machine Stuff. Frank says, yesterday we were talking about the Judgment Night soundtrack. He says, early rap rock, he makes a really good point here. Early rap rock, alternative, or other. It's so groovy, it's out of sight. Really, really gives me douche chills. That's Frank. And that, of course, is from a very good band, Faith No More's
yes, that's
very
epic.
not good song, Epic.
Yeah.
Which at the time I loved.
Same.
So I can't say it's a bad song.
Got my hair cut like Mike Patton in the video.
I tried to do that
Got lines
too.
in the side of my head, but I had a mullet, so it looked terrible.
I tried to do it too, and I hadn't I did not have long hair, and it did not work. I
No,
looked
it did not.
more like a poor man's Vanilla Ice. But yes, I did the same thing. I saw that, and I tried. I also tried to look like John Frusciante for a time when he was on heroin. No, when he was first in the Mother's Milk era. I thought that he had a cool like mohawk, so I tried to attempt that.
How'd that work out for you?
I did not look like John Frusciante. For once.
Here's a fun game we can
He
play.
has a chin.
Jonathan sent me an email with the link. Somebody took a photo of this year's selections for food and beverage at the Masters. Okay?
Oh, boy.
So I'm going to read these as quickly as I can. Egg salad, pimento, cheese, pork barbecue, savory tomato pita. I can't. Oh, savory tomato pie. Masters Club, chicken salad on a honey wheat, ham and cheese, classic chicken, coffee, biscuit, breakfast sandwich, blueberry muffin, fresh fruit, soft drink, bottled water, iced tea, domestic beer, import beer, white wine, apple slices, chips, peanuts, southern cheese straws, cookies, popcorn, and the Georgia peach ice cream sandwich.
It really is for elementary school children. That menu is
Now-
in elementary school children. Grilled cheese and cookies.
Add up everything I just said, including the import beer and the domestic beer. Everything I just read can be ordered for what price?
If I ordered everything on the Masters
You
menu,
can order everything on the Masters menu. What will that cost you?
it would run me, I'm guessing, if I'm being serious, you rattled off like, 15 things.
More than that.
Okay, 20 things, let's say.
Yes.
20 things, $175.
No, Hardy's gone on and on about how cheap food is at the Masters when he was there. So I'm going to say it's less than that. I'll say $55.
I'm going to go in between. I want to guess, too, because I love the snacks and I love cheap things.
Go.
I'm going to go $68.
Adam, 12. $77.
Oh.
You can have the entire menu.
Yeah, Adam is the kind of guy that would be at the Masters if the
Just
Masters
eating.
was held.
Yeah.
No, if
there
it
with
was
the snacks.
held at a public park, and
Yeah, there you go.
and it didn't cost anything.
Hardy, I have a Robbie emailed me and said, please ask Hardy. I put one wager on the Masters, and I have bet Sahith Theegala. Who is that, and does he have a chance to win this weekend at Augusta?
That is one of my bets also. No, but of course he's got a chance to win. Sahith Theegala is a long hitter of the golf ball. He's skinny, spindly arms. He's got arms like mine, but he just absolutely punishes the ball. And I think he's a good bet that maybe if he's near the first page of the leaderboard on Saturday, I think you cash out that bet and you take your money and run. But
Okay.
I've got him for that reason, yeah.
All right. So yesterday, I got this late last night. The good thing about having a podcast that people can listen to is they can catch things. And this was caught by more than one person. Listen to this little taste of irony, Hardy, because you are not implicated in this. So you can enjoy from afar.
Go ahead.
Justin says, I started listening to the show at 7 a.m. today to hear John squawking about how it's rude to say that no one's listening to the Bruins. Then I listened to the podcast. And literally 10 minutes before, at 6:50 in the morning, which is before 7 by 10 minutes, John says, I wouldn't blame anyone if they're not watching the Bruins games anymore. Clearly that bird's brain is in all over the place.
Watching is different than listening. That's how I see it. Much different than listening.
You had literally made the same point that you were so vehemently arguing about, saying what in bad taste I was. You had made the same point.
Did I say watching or listening at 6:50?
Watching.
It's listening. Ryan Johnston.
Billy Jaffe. Billy Jaffe was in studio yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you insulted Jaffe.
Well, the whole thing pertains. They're in our orbit. I mean, saying that no one's watching is the same as I mean, then you're just saying no one's consuming the Bruins product. Every hole someone tried to poke in it, not you two, yesterday in email, every hole someone tried to poke in it was such an overreach, and I didn't even bother to reply. It was such like an overreach. It was such like a thing. It was like, well, you're saying that it would be like saying blah blah blah's show. No one's listening because the Bruins weren't good, or like no one's listening to a podcast because the Bruins aren't good. The job of a good play-by-play guy is saying what the Bruins are doing at that exact moment, dummy.
I love how you haven't let this go.
Because I can't find any reason. It's fascinating to me.
This is over 24 hours ago.
I'm not
and you're
mad.
Still stuck on it.
John, it just occurred to me because we're in an email segment. Let's not go crazy with the obsession.
Okay.
But his job is to say what that team is doing. It's completely dependent on the team. His entire job is calling. Now, how well he does it adds to the experience and can make or break your experience listening to the game. But if you ultimately don't care about what he's calling in real time, then why would you possibly listen to it?
There's one exception. And when the Celtics were really bad, when Cedric Maxwell first started broadcasting the games, the Celtics were atrocious. They were the worst team in the league. They won like 15 games that year. All of us tuned in to listen to Max because he made it worth our while. That's the exception.
Okay, because he was so nuts.
He was crazy.
Okay, well, there's no one crazy on the Bruins
Yes,
podcast.
I
I apologize for that. Beers is going to be very upset. He takes that stuff personally.
We'll never get him on the show now.
No. He'll take that super personally. I think the next time we see him, he's going to be like nice but not friendly. I think is how it
like
might
he
be
was
handled.
on the air.
Yeah. I get along with him really, really well, but I
Really
could
nice
see,
guy in person.
but I could see how he would rub people the wrong way. Like I don't care about
You
that
wanna
stuff
come
like
on?
that.
Well,
it's not even that. It's like just talk. Like I've gone out drinking and stuff with him. Like I've been places drinking with him. Like I haven't gone like out with him, but like I've been out with him drinking. Like so, like in a relaxed atmosphere. And like I could see how his personality, because you'll go like, hey, you want to do a shot? He'll just go, yeah, and you just be like, all right. He didn't care,
But
he could have gone either way. Doesn't matter to him.
I think you and I share the trait of we tend to get along with people who have hands like catcher's mitts and have a certain physical presence about them. It's like magically I seem to be on my best behavior around guys like that. Jaffe's another one. Get along great with Jaffe because if he snaps, I want to be on his good side.
Yeah.
Same thing with Beers.
Beers isn't overly physically imposing. I mean, he could kick my ass, and he's way stronger than me. He's a professional athlete, but he's not like a intimidating Hulk of a man.
He's got a
when he flips the switch.
I understand he could beat me up, but it's not
Yeah.
like this. It's not like Zolak, where it's like this. He could like just manhandle you and like put you in like any position he wants. Like that's the thing about Zolak. If Zolak was your cellmate. And like you resisted, like there's a way he could physically like move, so you couldn't like you couldn't score him out of it. Like right, you'd have to like like really knife him in the eye or something. You'd have to like find some kind of weapon and like get him good. You'd have to kill him. Like Jaffe's real strong, probably, but I mean he couldn't like just like overpower you were even if you were flailing like thinking you were on the brink of death. Like there's a way you get out of that.
How?
Because he's not bigger.
No,
well,
I want
get him in here.
I want you to physically show me. I want you to give us a demonstration.
Stop!
That's it.
Thank you. All right, we'll be back to wind this whole thing up. Here are the headlines. were touching Hardy. Hardy, what have we not got into today?
I believe I saw footage of this high-speed chase in Los Angeles. They're pretty common, but there was one that made national news here. I saw footage of it on the news, national news programs. Apparently, the band Weezer was involved in this in some way. Have you heard about this, Fred?
I have not.
Okay. The wife of Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner.
Not the original bassist.
Nope.
They lost a lot when they had that falsetto voice, man.
Matt Sharp.
Yeah.
Scott Schreiner, he is the current bassist of Weezer. His wife was shot by police and charged with attempted murder after she fired her gun during the manhunt for the 3 people they were chasing in the high-speed chase. So,
why were they chasing them?
I don't know why they were.
Why it started?
I don't know why it started.
Why'd you play the sweater song if it's the current basis?
Oh,
bad move on my
bad
part.
mistake. Play,
God, you're
play
most of the songs of the current basis.
Play one of their Toto covers.
Oh, remember when they did Africa and it was the same?
Yeah. All right. So according to TMZ, officers were searching for the 3 suspects in the Eagle Rock neighborhood when they encountered Jillian Lauren, who is the bassist's wife.
Of course, yeah. Tell me something I don't know.
She comes out of her house with a gun and started firing. Now, they don't know why she was, but there is speculation she was targeting one of the suspects. She then, very wisely, disregarded multiple commands to drop her weapon, so the cops shot her. They hit her in the shoulder. She went back into her house and stayed there for a half an hour before she eventually surrendered to police and then was charged with attempted murder. So her heart was in the right place. She thought she was going out there and playing bang bang with the shoot 'em up suspect. She was probably watching it on TV.
So there was a suspect of shooting, and then she thought that was who was in her proximity.
Perhaps she thought that, she's watching the TV, and I did this during the Aaron Hernandez thing. Remember when they followed Aaron Hernandez from his house to Gillette Stadium?
Yeah, you
and
came
then
in
he
here
went
with a gun.
downtown?
You were all excited and shooting off.
Yeah, he went downtown.
You're all Yosemite Sam in it.
Well, he got off the highway in Dedham and started going through, my old stomping grounds there at Dedham, West Roxbury, Roslindale. He drove right past my kid's daycare. I'm like,
geez.
we're watching it. And so she was probably watching and said, oh, my God, they're in my neighborhood. I'm speculating here. And she went outside and started shooting. But she was shooting at the wrong people, so she got shot, and then, for her trouble, charged with attempted murder.
But she was not shooting at the police. She was shooting at other people with guns?
I don't know. They don't
That's
know what
what's
she was
alleged.
shooting.
They believe she was shooting at one of the suspects in the car chase.
Okay.
But when the cops show up and say, hey, put your gun down, you don't need to be doing this, and she didn't, they shot her.
Do you think PCP is a factor?
Yes. By the way, Weezer's scheduled to play Coachella this weekend, and we're all
well,
going.
now you can't. Now they got to cancel Coachella. The bass player's not going to be able to be there. I mean, well, it's not really his problem.
No.
I mean, if she's on the felony attempted murder charges, you don't just get bailed out for that.
By the way, she's also written 2 best-selling books, including Some Girls, My Life in a Harem, which is her account of experiences as a former call girl for the Prince of Brunei.
I'm a nice man.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard her interviewed before.
Yeah, I'm a nice
Is she
man.
interesting?
I haven't listened to the whole interview, but I've heard a preview of an interview of someone that was going to talk to her. It's a surprisingly mundane experience, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of the time is spent
Waiting.
just sitting around waiting.
When's my turn? Yeah.
There's someone that that I know, that I have a feeling is living a fairly similar lifestyle to that, based on what I see. It's
Is it Ryan?
No, Ryan's right here every morning. No, Ryan's right here.
What does he do with the rest of the day?
No, it's Scotty Scheffler who's out there he's just giving guff to the cops and getting himself popped. No, there's someone that I know that I have a feeling is involved in some sort of it just seems there's a lot going on. All right. Anyway, it's not the guy. It's like the girl. But all right, there's a lot. It seems like there's a lot going on in her life. She's a lot of really nice places, really far away for some unknown reason, and not on vacation. And she's never with anyone else.
No, it's
not
Kendra.
Oh no, it's not Kendra. It's not Kendra.
We're all.
It's not anyone that lives in the Massachusetts area. No. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on